say go, I go.
I know.
He's in a rush. We're not having any fuffing about this week. Stu's in a rush.
They're giving you thousands of hours of entertainment for free. What could they possibly owe you? I mean, if anything, you owe them.
Boring.
Yeah, boy.
The ball is right.
Switch that console up
It works
before
at
you
so
have
many
to
levels.
press repeat, yo.
I'm a potato.
Hello and welcome to episode 797 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yeah, 797. What's up, people? I'm
Jesus
Duke.
Christ. You're never allowed to play that again.
What,
I'm
the air
Stu.
horn?
Yeah, God, that's
I'm
so
sorry.
loud.
I won't.
Oh my God. Anyway, I'm Stu. And Chinny's just not here.
Yeah, no, mate. I'm just just here,
Yeah.
He's here. Chinny's
He's
here. I'm
here.
here.
He's just
Stu's
on
here.
mute. We're muting.
No, I wasn't. I
Were you not?
was just letting the dead air ride.
All right, okay. I see
You
what
know.
you were doing there.
Just letting it go. We need to talk about bloody show 800.
I know, yeah.
800.
It's coming up, man.
For those who don't know, we've been doing this show for 800 weeks, almost 796 or 7 right now.
Yeah.
797.
Sealy in the
And
chat.
and the nice
who-
round numbers are important.
Sealy in the chat, who I still haven't given the social logins to yet, but I will when I.
Sure you will.
Do it.
Sure.
Sure you will.
Says, yeah, big one coming
Can I
up.
have 'em?
So the big episode should
Should.
It'll be live.
be on May the 4th.
Be
Yeah.
with you. Be with you.
If everything were normal, that's when it would be.
But I can't make that night because the wife is out.
Tara's night with the ladies is
Yeah,
more
where's she
important than
going?
our
Where's she
800th
going?
She's
show.
going to see a show.
Nice.
It's like, I don't remember what it's about Jamaica.
Panto?
It's about Jamaica.
Oh,
The
okay,
show's
cool.
about
Oh, okay.
Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where family's fun, is that right?
Well, yeah, Granddad and Nana from there.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Cool. Yeah. That's, yeah.
Yeah, so she's going to that.
I hope it's a good show.
So I can't make either four. So we've decided.
Find out what it is. I want to know what show she's going to see.
We've decided to do the podcast on May the 3rd, which is a Saturday night.
That is correct.
I don't
Yep.
think we've ever recorded a show on a Saturday night.
We might have done one. We might have done
Maybe, but it's
one. Maybe
rare.
one. It's very rare.
So if you're a loser,
I have a question about the
like-
show. So go ahead. If you're a loser, like
if you're a
Duke,
loser like us and you've got nothing else to do on May the 3rd,
Yeah.
then we'd like you to be on the show.
Yeah, on the show.
Celebrating 800. So Duke, what was you saying there?
I took a bite of his hamburgers. I can't talk now.
Oh, brilliant. Professional.
Sealy said do it the weekend after, but we can't because that'd be 801.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be 800 anymore. It'd be 801.
we'd miss the boat.
We'd
we
miss
can't,
the boat.
We can't miss a
Yeah,
week.
stop telling us how to
And
do
we
our
never
show.
miss a week. We never miss a
a
week.
We could do 799B part 2.
799.5.
Yeah, we never miss a week. On episode 363, go back and listen to it. We were all three of us being vivisected live, and we could have just been like, you know what, this sucks. We need to do the show later, but no, we kept going.
No, we
Carried
just
on.
did
It was such a weird episode.
Yeah.
It was.
It was like,
Very
yeah, I
odd.
really like Fallout. Fuck.
Ah, my fucking testicles. Chinny, let me ask you a question. Is the name of the show Small Island? Because I did a search for UK plays about Jamaica, and the #1 response came up as Small Island, a
Oh,
2019 play by Helen Edmondson, based on the 2004 novel of the same name by Andrea Levy.
No, it won't be that. It'll be.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious, so let me know and
Yeah,
find
let's
out. Let
do
me-
that after the show.
No,
because
Yes.
that's-
In the
It's
meantime,
called
somebody
I've
here.
got it. I've got it. It's called.
Oh!
It's called Jamaica Love.
Jamaica Love.
Okay.
Okay, good. I will look into that while we hear someone tell a little story time.
Story time, fuck yeah. Coming again to tell a motherfucking story about
Yeah.
your lives that's not gaming related.
Jesus Christ, I've forgotten how long that clip is. Yeah, unless someone's got an important story, I think we need to get going because, and I'll tell you for why.
Oh, aye.
We've got 9 emails this week.
Right,
Oh
come on
my
then.
God!
Let's crack on.
What
Let's
the
crack on.
fuck?
9.
Come on.
Count 'em.
Okay.
Where are
9.
you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
I think it should be like this every week, ladies and gentlemen.
What you been playing?
Well, actually, I have something I need to say. Through a compelling narrative, the production highlights themes of identity, resistance, and resilience, infusing every moment with both humor and heart. That's what they say on the website for Jamaica Love. So I hope it's a good show. It sounds interesting.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks for
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yes.
Come on then. Crack on.
I don't have a sound clip for Jamaica. Who's starting? I didn't even put my things in the thing.
No, I noticed.
Somebody else
I
has
was
to
like,
start. I didn't
Not like
update my.
Duke.
I had to
Uh,
make lunch because I forgot that I had not eaten lunch. So I had to rush up and make lunch real quick. Go ahead, Stu.
well, which was it? Had you forgotten you're eating or not eating? Which is it?
I had forgotten that I had not eaten, so I
Not
had to go
eaten.
make
There
a
you go.
sandwich. Right? Yes. Okay. that was important to correct. We have time for
Well,
Yeah, we got time for that.
We can all be
Unbelievable.
Duke. We can all be Duke, you know. Anyway, I'm going to talk. I've only played 3
None
games
of us can be
this week.
Stu,
I've
though,
been-
can they?
No, they can't. Yeah, I've
that. No
only
one
played 3
can be
games.
Stu.
Come on then. Come on then.
3 games this week.
Crack on.
And do you know what I played the most of?
Hurry up.
Peg Idol.
Peg. Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
Oh
If I
my
went-
gosh.
If I went for time played,
Wow.
Peg Idol would
know
probably
what?
be the longest I've played
I'm
something this
I'm
week.
shocked. I'm shocked.
But to say I played it is kind of a bit of a stretch because I wanted to get 1,000,000 points. So I decided I set myself a goal, want to get 1,000,000
You didn't
points
leave
on
it
Peg
running,
Idol.
did you? Did you leave it running?
And kind of.
Oh my god.
So-
Cheater. Cheater.
At about 4 or 5, I was on a day off, and about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, I set it going on my Steam Deck. And just interacted every once in a while, you know, shot a few
Well,
boulders.
I
and
mean,
stuff.
it is an idle game, Stu. That's
Yeah, it
what
is,
they
it
are.
is,
That's
it
the-
is.
You know.
So I went through a whole night of telly, and I was panicking slightly because I was like, so this was about 4 when I started, and by about 10:15, I hadn't quite made the 1,000,000 points, right? I'm like, ooh, gotta make 1,000,000 points before I go to bed, and I'm getting tired, you know, a bit twitchy, gotta go to bed. And I hit it. I hit 1,000,000. I've got 1,000,000 points on Peg Idol.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm done now. I did think, I'll be honest, I was tempted. I was tempted to buy the full game because
Oh my god, you haven't even bought it.
no, that was just in the demo.
Oh,
I got to 1,000,000
tight
points in the demo.
bastard.
I know, but I was like, oh. I was looking at it and I'm thinking, what are the other power ups? What other things can you get to shoot? How many can you just mute Duke because that's very loud?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did. I beg your pardon.
Get out of it.
God, he's so noisy, isn't he?
I beg your pardon. I thought I was muted. My bad.
Hey, what happened to your silent keyboard?
It stopped working. I
ran
had
out
to
of
swap it out. for a
ran out of silence.
I used up all the silence. Yeah.
Used of all the silence. Yeah, so I was like, so what? I went through it, and then I got to wondering. I'm like, what other stuff can you get? How many of those things can you get to be automatic? Because
I
the
bet
only
you can
thing
get 7 million of them to be.
I don't know. I was hoping, and I'm sure it probably will happen if I'd have bought the game and carried on, that you get to a stage where the whole screen is just filled with balls of some description. You know what I mean?
Probably.
But I never saw it. I like in the demo, it's just if you're not interacting, it just feels a bit like not that.
Balls, 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 balls.
I wanted balls everywhere. You know what I mean? I wanted
balls, balls, balls.
new screen to appear empty. Do you know, instantly empty because there's just so much shit going on. But I never got
Balls
to that
going on.
stage. Never got to that stage. I'm sure it'll happen. I am tempted to pay the £2 or whatever it is to buy it.
£2
just to see.
How long? You
know.
played it for 5 hours and you still don't want to part with £2 to
I
show
know,
your love.
But
Buy it.
yeah, but saying I played it for 5 hours is a bit of a stretch.
Well, you got 5 hours of enjoyment out of it.
Well, I
apparently.
didn't really. I just looked at it every now and again to see what score it was
You
at.
looked at it every now and again for 5 hours.
And fired
you
a few-
owe them the money.
Fired a
It's
few
like on The
boulders
Simpsons.
for
They're trying to
about 5
learn for
minutes.
free.
Yeah, so
He's bird watching or something. I don't know what he's looking at.
I don't know. Maybe I'll part with some cash this week just to see how
Yeah,
like frantic
show them the
screen
love.
can get because I want to
Yeah.
see a frantic screen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I want to see
you
a
going
frantic
crazy.
screen too.
You're not buying it. You're telling me to buy it. You've
I'm not
bought
buying it. No, of course,
No.
because I'm not playing it. But I throw money to the once human developers once in a while. I throw it to the Rocket League developers once in a while. It's like I could play this for free, but I want y'all to know that I appreciate you.
Yes. So yeah, I might do that. I might just find out because I'm kind of curious to see what else happens.
You want to see how many balls you can
I
handle?
want to
at
see how
once?
many balls can be on the screen. at once. How long it takes to get there? Who knows? Till the screen is full to the brim with balls. That's what I want to see. A screen
That was cool.
completely full of balls. Right, who's going next?
I'm going next. I didn't play any of Avowed this week. Sorry, Chinny. But I got 3 things I need to talk about with Rocket League. I know, but just let me get through 'em.
Hell's teeth. How can you come up with new stuff for Rocket League? I tell you.
Or you can complain about how I'm coming up with new stuff for Rocket
I'm only
League.
asking. I'm
Either
just
way.
asking a question.
All right. Well, if you want to ask, we can have that conversation. Otherwise, I can just say my things because I thought we were in a rush, but whatever. Anyway, here's the thing. Look, they're smurfing in casual lobbies, bruv.
What the hell does that even mean? What's
There's
Smurf?
You know
Smurf-
what
okay, do you know what
smurfing
s-
means. You know, we've talked about it.
You know what
I'm
smurfing
with-
is?
I can't remember. I don't take any.
Okay,
notes.
let me tell you-
Is when go on, Duke. You
Go ahead,
can-
Jenny.
Well, you
go ahead,
explain. Go on, explain.
Jenny.
Somebody makes a very, very good player who's ranked all the way up or very high
I
has
get
made
you.
another account to make it
Just so that they can play in the lower
right,
ranks.
yeah.
That's
I see.
right. That's right. Now, it's one thing to do that in ranked. I think it's kind of pathetic, but you know what? People do it, and I'm not allowed to get salty because that's the way it is. But in Smurfed, bro, you're smurfing in casual, you're smurfing in casual for real? And I was like, someone said that we lost a game, and someone's like, hey, smurfing. I'm like, no, just come on. You lose a game, you can't just immediately accuse the other side of smurfing because that's what people do. But then one game, dude had the Grand Champ tournament winner title, and he was clearly just running rings around us. And I was like, dude, how did I get in a lobby with you? And he goes, oh, this is my Smurf account. And I was like, motherfucker, like he admitted it.
He's not
doing
even
it
bothered.
on purpose. And I'm just like, that's so sad. Do you go down to the playground and beat up 4-year-olds too?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
Why can't you
To be
fight back,
fair-
you little bitch? Come on, fight back. What do you suck? Get good.
To be fair, they're all doing it on purpose, even if they don't admit it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to know who's smurfing and who's not. And I try to give
Yeah.
people the benefit of the doubt, but these motherfuckers are just shameless.
They
So
don't
anyway,
care.
there's that. And then here's the flip side. Okay, look, I got to tell you, man, I play video games all my life, right? Since I was 10 years old, talking 40
Since you
years
were
a game.
10 years old.
Right. And there is no dopamine hit quite like scoring a goal, writing in the text chat, I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA, and then having someone else go in the text chat, yeah, Kendrick got bars. That's such a good feeling when you can vibe with someone like that, right? That happens 5% of the time. 5% of the time people are silent. And then the other 90%, I got to give you a simulator of what it's like. All right?
All right.
You just came back from brunch. It doesn't have to be Rocket League. I don't know if that's your happy place video game. Pick a video game that makes you happy. Just fills you with joy when it's working well. Okay, you got it? You got that game in mind? You're having fun doing that game? The biggest dopamine hit? Like, yeah, I'm chasing this. I'm hoping people in the chat will respond to my high spirits while I'm listening to this DJ mix. No clue bouncing. Yeah, come on,
yeah,
come
like
on.
that,
And then
like that.
suddenly someone on your team or someone on the other team starts going, fucking shut the fuck up. You kill yourself. I hate you. N-word, N-word.
Wow.
Wow.
What? That's what it's like in this chat in Rocket League. Every day there's some kid and when I say kid, he could be 40 years old, but acting like a 12-year-old. Just like
You just never know,
raging
man.
in the chat. He's so furious. And I'm like, dude, if you're having a bad day, I'm sorry. You don't have to come spread that misery here. So anyway, then I thought, okay, you know what I'll do? I found a Discord once upon a time called Old Farts Rocket League. And it's just like, older people like you and me, the veterans, right? That's
Yeah.
Look, no kids allowed in here. We're old farts. Fuck off, kids. Go somewhere else. And I get in this room and there's like a bunch of people kind of chatting, having fun, playing Rocket League. And they're much better than me, but whatever. They're cool to have me in there. And one dude's Scottish and he, I'm talking about where in Scotland are you? And he said he's north of Glasgow. And it was like, just chatting. And then here comes this one dude. And we're just talking about, I mentioned Spaceballs. And he was like, yeah, Spaceballs. And we were vibing about Spaceballs. And then this other person was like, what is Spaceballs? And I was like, dude, you don't know Spaceballs? Like, whatever. And then the other dude was like, oh, it's the best parody of Star Wars ever made. And then he goes, what's Star Wars? And I was like, okay, you're trolling. I see you. But you've seen Star Wars, right? He's like, no, I haven't seen that shit. And I'm like, okay, you can watch your fucking mouth, dude. Why you gotta talk shit about Star Wars?
It
Man?
is.
Anyway,
It is shit though.
hey.
Laser sword.
Damn, Chinny, didn't you hear Stu say we got to get through this quickly? Now you're going to
I
talk
know.
shit
Well,
about
we've been
Star
talk-
Wars?
To be fair, we've been talking about Rocket League for about 20
No,
minutes.
we've been talking
now.
about the angry children in Rocket League. That's whatever. I try not to pollute this podcast with these thoughts, but I have them all the time, so I have to vent them somewhere. Here's the thing. Look, I was vibing with this guy because he didn't hate children and likes Star Wars. If you don't like Star Wars, you hate children. And then he goes, dude, have you seen Avatar? And I was like, yeah, I did. And he's like, I'm not talking about the Airbender. And I was like, okay, you're talking about the blue James Cameron movie. He's like, yeah, the lore is amazing. And I was like, okay, well, I never really got into it. And I saw the first one, and it's
Red
okay.
flag.
But
Red
he's
flag.
like, hang on a second. But here's the thing about the lore of Avatar. You know how at the end of the first one, the medical doctor tries to do the thing where she does the thing with the mushrooms and then it doesn't work and then she doesn't show up and then you don't see her in Avatar 2? Well, here's my theory. And he wouldn't fucking stop. And everyone's like keeps trying to change the subject. He's like, yo, well, anyway. And it was such a good example of like, shut the fuck up, dude. You think I'm bad? You should have heard this guy. Everyone left one by one. Everyone. It was me and him. And finally, I was like, I gotta go, dude. And it's like he never got the hint.
Stuck it out. You know, you stuck it out though.
Why should I stick it out?
No,
I
but I'm
don't have
saying
any
you did
responsi-
though. You did though. You know.
Yeah,
you
but
get-
he would have. He
give
just
guys
wanted to
some
just
time.
keep going forever. And again, like, what? Who does that? Who has no awareness of the fact that the people they're talking to aren't listening?
Sorry, what did you say?
I don't know what he said.
I see what you did there. So that's Rocket League. That's all I have to say about that. But when it's good, it's so good. It's such a lovely feeling when everyone in the lobby is just vibing. And it's like, yeah, I had a couple of those this week. That felt really good. So yeah, I chased that shit.
There you go.
No, I just wouldn't play it if it was that toxic.
I
No,
don't
it's
blame
just
you.
like, where's the
Most-
fun? Where's the fun,
Well, that's the
man?
thing. It's that 10%. It's so fun.
Where is the
And,
fun?
You know,
I mean, if you've got
like
to
I said,
search for the fun, it's not the best,
Well,
is it?
It's
By
not.
the
And I
way-
wish I didn't have to search so hard for the fun. Here's what I wish. I wish they had they have a ranking system. I wish they had a reputation system of some kind. So you could say, I don't want to play with this kind of player. I do want to play with this kind of player.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the algorithm could group you according to just like, you know, if you get mad and curse people out, like there's nothing that you don't get banned if you're a toxic teammate. You know what I mean? So you have to just hope you don't
Well,
get a
to
toxic
be fair,
teammate.
most of the time, no one gets banned for anything in these games.
Well,
do they?
I have gotten some things that say when you start the game, it says, thanks to reports from you and your fellow players, so we took action against someone you played against recently for a violation of code of conduct.
Well,
So,
yeah, but how,
I mean, it's
how
rare.
often does that happen?
Wow. Stu said,
Well,
wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
To be fair-
Wow. To be fair.
To be fair, in Duke's maths, it would have been like 2% of the time
Oh, yeah.
they get banned,
Oh, yeah.
and the other 90% of the time they don't.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the thing is that, like, this company should definitely be doing more.
What
I
happened
am
to
agree with you on that.
I am so glad you're not a maths teacher. I
what
really
happened
am.
to the other 8%?
Exactly, but Duke said at the beginning 5% of
no,
the time,
okay,
and then the
so
other
fi-
90%.
No, he said 5% this, 5%
No, I said
that.
five.
No,
You said
90.
2-5.
I didn't hear.
You need me to go to the tape, Stu? Because I have tape. This
He
is
did
being
say
recorded,
2-5.
right?
He said,
I
he
only-
said
I only heard
5%,
1-5.
5% of vibing, 5% of
Now, when
silence.
Shinny corrected him on something last
Very
week, he
dude.
said, my
Very
bad,
dude,
you're
I'll-
right, Shinny.
My bad. I'll take it if that's
Okay,
true.
thank you. That's fine. I
Okay.
ain't mad.
Hey,
Okay, so that's
calm
Rocket
down,
League. Let's
everybody
move
calm
on.
down.
Who's
apologise. You can't be mad
next?
at me.
I
Apologise.
appreciate that. Yes, thank you very much.
Chitty, I believe.
Everybody calm
Yes.
down. Just like, let's just calm down, everybody.
I'm perfectly calm, dude.
Yes.
Calmer than you are.
Look at that.
Everybody calm.
Steady as a rock. Steady.
I shoot with
Steady,
this
man.
hand.
Hey, I shoot with this hand.
Yeah, yes, I agree with Polar Knights. Star Wars is an old people show. Correct. It's just laser
yeah.
swords, Polar Knights. Just no one cares. Anyway, could do with an old fart Warzone lobby, says Sealy. Yes, they could.
That's how, to be fair, that's how the 035 started off, didn't it? Because it was
Yeah.
all about the Call
Yeah.
of Duty old people playing
yeah,
it.
Mr. Nightlaw says, hello, chaps. And Armar, who's put his pre-order in for the Switch 2.
Yeah, Armar.
isn't-
I saw that.
So
Yes,
I've been-
we have an email off Armar
Oh, God,
explaining.
I imagine
One
you
of the
do,
9.
after the text
We do.
messages he's been sending me.
I know
Furious.
he is very
Furious.
excited.
Um,
I don't know. I got the impression he didn't like the title of last week's show. I don't know why.
I didn't like the title of last week.
I know, mate. You didn't. That's why I
You
did
know
it.
what? I was gonna go on ChatGPT and write like a formal complaint.
I'll be honest. I was proper
Dude, you should
chuckling.
totally have done that. Or just tell me
Kate-
and I'll write it.
Kay's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Oh, I've just come up with a blinder."
Yeah. No, you trolled. That's what you did.
I did. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
big
That's why I
troll.
did it. But it was kind of funny.
Anyway, so I've been playing Avowed.
Yes, my game of the year, which I haven't played this week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm deep. This game's long as fuck.
Oh, they all are, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Jesus Christ, it goes
Well,
on.
you just look at the map and you can tell how big it's going to be.
Well, yeah, but there's like several maps all over
Well,
the
yeah,
place.
that's the thing. The first part of the map that you go to takes you 5 hours
Jesus.
at least, and then like that's one of 10 pieces of a map.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ!
I'm glad I
think
stopped playing this
I'm in
game.
the third area now. I'm in the third area.
Uh-huh.
And I've got my fourth companion with us.
Oh, nice. Do you swap them out, or are they all just with you all
So
the time?
the way the companions work is actually interesting. So, because I was worried, like, oh, if I don't send one out with me, like they'll just go forever, and it doesn't fit with the lore or the story that
Yeah,
I'm
right.
playing out. I'm a 40-year-old man. Who gives a fuck? But anyway, and they say, oh, I'm gonna bring. I think her name's like Yahtzee or whatever. I don't know what her fucking name is.
Yeah.
Yahtzee.
Yeah.
That's
Because she
cool,
loves
man.
playing dice games.
She does.
Yeah, Yahtzee.
Matching numbers. She likes matching
and
numbers.
And they say, oh, okay, I'll bring Yahtzee. You go back to the camp. So you always meet at the camp every time you have a camp site, and that's where you upgrade your
Yeah,
weapons.
sure.
That's where you enchant some of your weapons as well, and other things.
Kind of like
and
the Normandy and Mass Effect.
yeah, it's
like
exactly
you're gonna
like the
return
Normandy.
to this spot.
Exactly
once in a
like the
while, yeah.
Normandy and Mass Effect, and also the game tells you when each character has a new, unique bit of dialogue that's usually to do with the story.
Right,
So when you progress the story,
right. You need to talk to this person here.
yeah, you need to talk to this person.
Yep.
And so they're back at camp. So you always feel like you're sort of traveling together, but the other two are sort of just off doing their own thing and now and again. And yes, very good, very good. Third area is this
Yes.
big, sort of like a desert land, really.
Mm.
A bit Borderlands-y, I suppose, if you was to
Yeah,
compare
okay.
it to something else.
Right.
And no, it's still good, still as dense as ever, still packed with missions and side quests. and
Sorry,
everything.
in terms of like the locations, it feels like there's certain things that RPGs tend to do, and it one of them is like move from biome to biome.
Yeah.
And it does it in New World, it does it in Skyrim. The eastern part of the map is the forests, the north obviously very frosted cold ice everywhere, the western part is the mountains. There's no real deserts in Skyrim, but there certainly are in New World, and I think a lot of Breath of the Wild has deserts, right?
Breath of the Wild is very like
Deserty.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's
very
desert,
biome.
cold,
Yeah.
Yeah,
rocky.
and I guess we owe that to
rainy as fuck.
Minecraft.
rain, yeah, rainy.
Rainy as fuck.
Minecraft, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose you could argue like the first sort of Zeldas did it as well. But
Yeah.
no, it doesn't feel too like no, you're in the snow area because
Yeah, not split apart that same way.
because the first area is lush, isn't it? It's all lush and
Yeah,
green and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
The second area is not like a big drastic change. It's more like this used to be lush, but now it's fucked.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
more about like how the disease and how the farmland and how the plants are all not working as well, not growing as well, and not
Yeah.
there's something wrong.
And
with
turning into
places.
mushroom monsters.
Yeah, there's the vegetation is fucked. So that's that story, and then I think it's the same again. The third area is like, oh, this third area like it used to be a brilliant place, and it's more of a desert. So interesting. I again, the lore is thick. I don't like the lore. The lore is boring, but I do
Yeah.
like the sort of what I'm doing bit by bit. So
yeah, sure.
the general
The little
beats,
stories along the way.
the general
Yeah.
beats of the stories, like we've got to go to this MacGuffin now, okay, but you need me with you, okay? And that's kind of where I am in the story. Then we go to a MacGuffin, and like that MacGuffin is like this weird god, and the god's like, oh, you need to go to this place now to do the next MacGuffin. I'm like, all right, cool, and I like that. And what I really like is everything feels lived in. Like when you get there, it feels like you're just turning up, and all this shit has been going on.
Yeah.
For
You just
example,
missed some action.
yeah, for example, like, there's this place called Thirdborn where you've got to go to, and it already has this history. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Thirdborn, because you
Right.
basically, I don't want to spoil it, but you've got to send some people
appreciate
to one place or another, and I chose
Mhm.
to send them to Thirdborn.
Okay.
But it's like it's a dodgy choice no matter what you're doing. They go, well,
Yeah.
Thirdborn, they might be okay, but it is a really rough place. It's a dock city.
Yeah.
It's rough as
Right.
fuck. So it's up to you. So yeah, I sent them to Thirdborn. You get there, it's fine. No, no one's punching you. It's
Mhm.
all fine.
Yeah.
But like it just feels like it's got like something about it, and then you find out there's some thieves in that area, and you're gonna do a few side quests
Ooh.
there. Loving it. I really enjoy it. It feels like the world is
Yeah.
happening around you, and you are sort of
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
So I like
and
that
you're
about it.
you're the what is it? The emissary,
The
and you're
envoy.
also
You're the envoy.
Godborn or something, whatever
You're
it is.
godlike. Yeah. So
Godlike.
So you're
yes. The
you-
KFMDM
You've
song.
got horns. You've got horns coming out.
you-
I don't
you've
got
got
horns.
you've got facial features, which is
Yeah, right.
which gives
Right.
away that you.
But you're not
yeah.
like the savior of everything right away.
No,
the
but you
Dragonborn
are-
is like, you're the Dragonborn. You're going to be the savior.
Like
of
there are many godlikes, but I think they're rare now or something.
Yeah,
That's
sure,
the gist I've
sure,
got. It's like, oh, it's rare to see a godlike.
Right.
But because I'm a godlike, people are like, oh, you're a godlike. You've got a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
things going on.
But they'll still
also,
try to fuck with you if you make them mad or
I'm
whatever.
the envoy of a certain authority, and that authority sometimes, I don't know, isn't always looked in the best light. So
yeah,
so
sure, of course.
so you have to straddle this.
deal with that
Thing of-
diplomatic
Yeah.
complication. And the question really, Chinny, I suppose, is, are you related to John Bonham?
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at this now. I'm like,
Don't
does
know
it
who
look
that
like
is.
him?
Question in the chat. Wasn't he the drummer for
Oh,
Zeppelin?
yeah, he does have a look at him. You know.
I
You
look
do
like a
have a
lot
Put
of
up a
people.
picture of you next to John Bonham.
Yeah, I
We'll
think we need
decide
that.
on this for the benefit of Soul Brother #1, who
You-
asked in
you
the
do
chat.
have a look of him.
I just watched Becoming Led Zeppelin, and you look like him. It's
I
two
don't know.
letters.
I look-
It's two
I-
words, Soul Brother.
I look I look like a lot of people. Like I'm just gonna
Shakespeare.
one of those faces.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Dao De
Jesus.
Ching.
Yeah,
Mao Zedong.
yeah. I don't know.
Megawati Sukarnaputra. Not that Megawati Sukarnaputra.
I have that face. I think where people just go, "You look like
Yeah.
this. You look like that." You know.
Um,
As I grow up, when I was young, when I was about 18, Stu will get this one. I looked like Anthony from Raw Family because I was proper skinny and scrawny.
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Just I just look like a lot of people. I don't know. So, but no, I'm not related to that gentleman. So anyway, Avowed.
You never know. You never know.
Avowed,
Maybe you are, and you just don't know.
enjoying it. Avowed, like it.
Glad to hear it.
It is a bit. It is. It is a bit long. Like I'm playing it
is a
now.
bit long,
I'm
yes.
getting to the point.
Are you
now,
getting sick of it?
I wouldn't say I'm getting sick of it, but the loop is definitely like repeating itself, and I'm like, I get it. Maybe I should just power through the story rather than.
I
doing
feel like
everything.
where I'm at now, the loot part of it is loot, L-O-O-T, not the loop. The loot is decent, but I could see it just getting more and more annoying. Does it get more annoying where you're at, or is
You
it still
just-
kind of just like in the background? You don't really need to worry about it too
Actually,
much.
you don't worry about it. I mean, there are some great quality of life things about this
Yeah,
game,
sure.
which is you can send everything to your stash, and you don't. If
Yeah,
as soon as
yeah,
you're overcumbered, you don't have to throw
Right.
anything on the floor. You can just
Nice.
send it back to your stash. You sell a lot of it. I've got the same sword.
You need things to upgrade your swords and
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got the same sword that I've been rocking for quite a while now. It's like a
Mhm,
fire
mhm.
sword. And
Yeah,
I've been
I got a
upgra-
fire sword.
I've been
That's sweet.
upgrading it all the way. But now where I'm
Sure.
at now, it's like quite hard to upgrade. So you're like, oh, well, do I ditch it for something that's just better? But I haven't come across anything better yet. So yeah, it
But
is.
it's nice that you don't have to worry about it breaking, of course.
Take this. Oh no.
No, it doesn't break. So no, and the upgrade system, I'm very wary about loot and upgrading
Yeah,
systems.
Yeah, yeah.
I Yeah, I don't mind it in this game. Look, I've got my head
As
around it.
those systems go, it's not too bad in this
No,
game. It's
no,
just
it's-
like
It's something. as
it's
soon as I
weird that
see a
there's
loot
like
game-
epic weapons and regular weapons, but aside from that, it's like whatever.
as
Because
soon
you
as
got two
I-
different
as-
workbenches.
as-
It's like
yeah, as soon as I see a loot game, I'm like, oh god, and you see the purple and the orange.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
everything's got a
I hate-
bloody.
And you
level
do
or
get that. That is
everything.
in here. Like you do have
Yeah.
chests that are purple.
it is,
but
but it's
doesn't-
not. It's
doesn't
not
bother me.
every single thing you pick up. You got to sit and sift through it.
No, you pick
Because
it up
Borderlands
and you
has
sell it.
the armor, it has the gun, it has the mod, it has
Yeah.
the helmet, it has the this, it has the that, and you're just like, people who like that are just constantly.
Yeah,
but
but
the rest
don't
of us are like,
forget-
which gun is best? Just give me the best gun. Let me keep.
There
it.
was 250 gazillion different weapons. In
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. That's what. It's a marketing thing.
The cool thing is, like every bit of food that you pick up, like you do end up eating anyway, because
Yeah,
it
oh,
divides
sure,
it
yeah.
divides the food up into health or element, which is your magic,
Mana. Right?
and
yeah.
and you can also craft better food. So if you go into the crafting menu, you can craft better food, which I didn't. It doesn't really do a great job of telling you about that, but I sort of found it anyway, and that's all fine. But I barely do it. I just sort of like I've got loads of food here. I've got loads of health. I've got loads of element potion things.
God, I
Let's
forgot about the
go.
game.
Yeah, so enjoying it, but it's long. It's literally the only game I've really played this year.
Yeah, long game, man.
I finished Indiana Jones like at the start of the year.
You did. That's
then,
true.
which came out last year. Because I'm like, I want to play more current games. So when we come to the game of the year, you know, I've got to.
Well, you are playing a current game, to be fair.
I know, but I've been playing it for fucking 3 months.
But that is the only one you play.
Yeah.
And that's the only kind of game that people make these days.
Talking of current games, Atomfall has still got its hooks into me. I really like
good
this
stuff.
game. And it's for similar reasons, because again, it's got really good systems. It's a really dense world. There's loads of shit going on. And there's a few things I forgot to talk about. One of the things I really like is the bartering system.
Oh yeah.
So there's no money in this game, so you don't pick up any coinage or any of that shit, right? And you do all your bartering by basically you get a set of scales. So you pick off what they're selling and put it on the scales, and then you have to put stuff on the scales to the same amount.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's barter, true barters.
Yeah, but it's not like the same thing. And some like merchants will like things better than others.
Yeah, totally.
So you'll get more money. Get more, not more money, but more value. Like a
yeah.
Molotov cocktail with one of them, and they get all excited if you put something in the scales that they like. Ooh, I like these. So then
See,
you
they're,
know.
they're showing their cards. They shouldn't
Yeah,
say
they're
that.
not
They should be
great.
like, that piece of shit.
Yeah, no poker faces here. But obviously you can get better stuff off them, and they have a lot of the
My
blueprints.
poker face.
They have a lot of blueprints, a lot of leveling up stuff, a lot of like skill stuff that you can buy once and read, and then you learn it.
Now, what about sex toys?
No sex toys. Not seen
No
any.
sex toys?
No,
Oh,
not seen
man.
any. And I did slightly lie last week.
About sex
I did
toys?
slightly lie, not about sex toys. But the lady who'd been shot down in the helicopter or thought had been murdered in the church hadn't been murdered in the church.
Oh.
It just happened that a side quest in the church involved someone who'd been murdered, which wasn't the lady from the helicopter. And it took me a fucking age to figure out where the next bit of her quest was, because it was all taken up with this woman who'd been murdered, which I solved, by the way. So I got to the end of
Nice.
that quest line.
We're going to call you Stuart Sherlock now.
And it's quite interesting because there's a number of ways which you can conclude it, so it's not that's the end, you can choose between different
Choices
outcomes.
matter in a side quest? What?
Yeah, so you
I
can
don't know.
choose. So you can either, off the person, or you can tell them that they're banished, or you can, there's lots of different ways it can end, or you can just let them go. You know what I mean? You can just go, yeah, it's fine. I don't care that you murdered somebody. Who cares?
Who cares?
So there's lots of
That's the thing, man. There's no currency in this game. There's
No
no
currency.
justice system. You have
There's
to
no
choose
justice.
whether you're going to be the justice or not.
Yeah, you can totally go. You can kill all the NPCs. You can just.
Can
go
you
around
be like,
killing-
hey, I know you murdered somebody. You give me a little something to wet my whistle. I'll look the other way.
Because I know with the because I saw someone do this when I was looking at a playthrough from when I was looking for the show, And the thing in the church, you can actually just kill the vicar. You know, when he asks you to help you. you
Oh,
just
take
kill him.
that, Vicar.
You can kill everybody in this game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you can
What
kill
about children?
everyone. Yeah.
There's no children in the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's no children. That's an easy way around it.
Yeah, so you can literally just kill everyone. There's nobody safe from you. You can literally just go around and kill the whole lot.
Man, that's cold.
It is cold.
Hopefully you're not doing that.
No, I'm not doing that, but I reckon
Okay, good.
Chinny would probably have
Chinny
a go.
would, yeah, he would.
Chinny's like, can I make
Although I don't
everyone
know,
in the village
he's not
dead?"
necessarily the type of person who wants to kill everybody by hand. If he could push a button and everybody dies, he does that. We know he's
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I eventually found the next bit of the pilot's quest, or the woman off the helicopter. And
Yeah.
it was in the cellar of the church, and it was just like a note hidden behind some boxes. And it turns out she's been taken by another faction, so I've got to now figure out where they've taken her to. But sometimes it can be a bit confusing as to what you're supposed to
yeah.
do. Because it also in the cellar is a locked door, so you're like, is she behind the door?
Oh, dude.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot,
the
and then
cellar.
I've just found the key for said door, and it was in a completely
Okay.
different part of the map. So I've
Okay.
actually got the key for the door, so I'm interested to find out what's behind. There's always something pulling a thread. Does
Yeah.
that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah,
There's,
yeah.
Yeah,
there's always
sure.
something like to keep you going and go, oh yeah, because obviously
Always something there to remind me.
you know, I was in the middle of another quest and then found the next bit of the quest for the cellar door, and because I found the key, but the key was miles from the cellar door. So there's
Yeah.
always something like, oh, I've now got to go back there to have a look what was behind the door. So there's
Yeah.
always something like pulling you on all the time, and I really like
That's
that.
good game design.
Yeah, it is.
It is good game
It is.
design.
This game
Absolutely.
is really, really good. I am so impressed with it. Because I'll be honest, I was never a massive fan of any of the Sniper Elite games.
Yeah.
But this
You're
is
the ones who
such a,
did those?
yeah, same
yeah.
This is
people.
that game studio? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
is such a departure from that.
Yeah, sure.
And it just looks great. I love being in the world. I love the world. And some of the characters are ridiculous, you know, all these like druids running around with all these stupid hats on and
Yeah.
face paint
Take
and
that,
all
druids
kind of stuff.
carrying
and-
their big old stones to put up in a henge.
Yeah, I have come a cropper a few times though, where I thought someone's going to be friendly and then they're definitely not friendly.
Oh, yeah. Unfriendly
So,
druids, huh?
Yeah, so you got to be careful of that. Although, like Chinny said the other week, you do have a moment or two, you know, once you start saying stuff like, "Hey, what are you looking at?" or "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
You know, that
yeah.
they're hostile, and you do have a moment where you can get away. You know, where you
See,
don't have to.
I wish those moments you could say something back to them like, go fuck yourself.
Well,
That would be
you-
nice.
Probably could. Probably
No, you
could.
can just attack them. But I would, you know what I mean? Like, I want there to be
Yeah.
a button that you can push, and like your character's like, go fuck yourself, and then see how they react,
like
and
a
maybe you just
taunt,
taunt each
like
other a
a
little bit. Yeah,
taunt,
exactly.
yeah,
Or like,
yeah.
or
And
like
your
a,
heart rate starts going up.
or like a. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate.
No?
I'm- you
Yeah,
know,
right. Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I'm going
don't
this
want
way.
any trouble, and they, like
Don't, yeah.
push your hands up like
Sorry,
some
buddy.
animation.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's that next level because Ginny talked about Avowed. They allow you the option to be like, you know, just stare at the person or, you know, like scowl at the floor or whatever it is. We should have more of those same kinds of options in these open world
Mm-hmm.
first person games.
But yeah,
That's
loving
what I
it.
would
I'm really like
Cool.
I'm playing a lot of it. I must admit. I'm
Playing Adam
just,
Fall,
like,
loving it, and you go
Yeah,
into the thing. and you're
absolutely
running that.
loving it. So good. Really like
Don't
it.
sleep, don't eat.
I've got so many quests to do. I'm like, I don't know what to do first.
Yeah, you and Chinny both. Avowed's
Yeah.
got a lot of side quests. Adam
Yeah.
Fall has a lot of side quests.
Yeah, and
So,
they're pretty good.
listeners, if a game comes out in 2025 and it starts with the letter A, you should play it. That's the unanimous
Yeah,
decision
I
of
think
the veteran gamers.
that is it. That is it. That's what we need.
Although
to be doing.
Assassin's Creed Japan, we're not playing that.
No, although that's getting good reviews. People
Getting
It
good
seem to
is.
reviews.
My
like it.
assistant principal said it's really fun.
Yeah,
so
people seem
I
to
tr-
like
I
it. Get him on
trust
the
him because
show.
he's my boss.
Get him on
I
the
should
sh-
get him on. I should totally interview him for the show.
Yeah, we
That'd be
need
awesome.
somebody who's been playing that game to tell us whether
Yeah,
we should play it. Why
totally.
we should play it.
Totally.
Why should we play this?
It was funny.
game?
We were leaving. I was leaving with my student teacher on Friday, and I saw him and the assistant principal, and I was like, "Hey, what have you been playing?" He's like, "Oh, the new AC is really good." I was like, "Oh, I've heard good things." And then, as we got away, we moved away from the assistant principal, and my student teacher was like, "What's AC?" And I was like, "Assassin's Creed." He's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "You're not a real gamer." He plays RuneScape all day.
Jesus
Ah.
Christ.
Hey, to each their own, you know.
No.
Lewis in
No.
the chat has said, "Have you seen the zombie shark stew? Is that in? I'm assuming that's in Atomfall somewhere. I can't say as I've
No,
seen.
it's in Preston. You haven't.
Oh,
he's
yeah?
asking
It's
if
in
you've seen the
Preston.
zombie shark.
Yeah, Zombie Shark. No, I've not seen the Zombie Shark. I'm assuming I'll come across it at some point. Who knows?
The question is, have you seen the Baby Shark?
No, I
Get
haven't.
off the show. Get off the show.
Stop right
That's
now.
not even the melody. I don't think.
I'll come
We
on,
don't-
I'll
there is
come
no
on to this
melody,
show
that
to
is
get
it.
away from children's TV.
Yeah, God. What the fuck are you doing? Do you know, we
All right.
we just had 18 listeners. The minute you did that, it's gone down to 15.
The
Just
question is,
saying.
did you say cellar door because you know about the thing that happened with me and my mom when I was a kid?
What?
Once upon a time, my mom said to me, she says, "Don't go near the cellar door." She pointed at it as like, "Never go near the cellar door." I was like, "All right." And then like for months, I would look at it and be like, "Oh, I want to go," and I couldn't. And then one day, I couldn't resist anymore, and I went to the cellar door and I opened it and I went through and I saw amazing things that I had never seen before, like trees and
Oh, that's
grass
a joke.
and the sun.
Ah, I see. You did a joke, Stu. I
a
didn't think we
joke.
did jokes. Let me write that down.
We did a
We
joke.
do
That's not my joke. That's Emo
No, that's
Phillips's
that's
joke.
an Emo Phillips joke.
It's an Emo Phillips. You know Emo Phillips?
I do.
Oh, he's so good. I love him so much.
What do you call it? I remember the two jokes. I remember him talking
We
about
haven't got any
Paul.
time, by the way. Just let you know.
I don't remember. No, I
We got
remember.
time for
I,
this,
I
so
saw.
shut up,
I
Kenny.
saw the same set, presumably.
Yeah.
And
No,
he
it's
was
on an
talking-
album, so yeah.
He was talking about porn, and he said, "Porn is terrible. It was just awful." And the screen started to rotate my nose after about an hour.
My
and
favorite. Go ahead. Do you?
The other joke he made that I always remember is, "What do you call a field full of cows masturbating?"
Are you sure these are Emo Phillips
Yeah,
jokes?
yeah.
They're very
This
different from
was-
the Emo
this
Phillips
was
jokes.
an
I know.
Emo-
Okay.
this
He
was an Emo
talks
Phillips
like
joke.
this. You saw
Yeah.
UHF. He's the guy
Yeah.
who runs the table saw and loses his thumb. What do you call a field of cows masturbating?
Beef stroganoff.
That's pretty good. My favorite joke of his is one time my father said to me, "Emo, do you love Jesus?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, then stand up and say, 'I love Jesus.'" And so I stood up and I said, "I love Jesus." And sure enough, I fell off the roller coaster.
Yeah. It's a long time ago since I've.
He's such a funny guy. Anyway, anything else about Adam Fall there, Stu?
No, it's great.
Okay.
It's a great game. I'm really impressed.
Great.
Is that it? We're
Core
done?
Keeper was on sale this week.
What?
And
what?
I've had it, Core Keeper.
I bought. Sorry, before you go to
Core
Core Keeper, whatever the fuck that is.
What the
Um,
fuck is Corky?
What was the game that you talked about last week? The druggy game. Summit One.
Schedule 1.
Schedule.
Because
That-
in the United States, there are different schedules for different kinds of drugs, and marijuana
That-
is a Schedule 1 drug.
Is now the biggest game in the world right now.
Is it really? Has it blown up?
Yes.
Wow.
There
it's
are
coming-
more,
isn't it
Y'all
coming to
should
Game
play
Pass?
it then.
there are
Come on.
more
to Game
people
Pass, isn't it?
playing. There are more people playing Schedule fucking 1 than Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh my God, that's
And
crazy.
Monster Hunter Wilds is played by a shit ton of people.
Yes,
Some
that's a
would
very
say
popular game.
crazy people, but they like what they like.
They do like what they like. And there's a lot of 'em.
Schedule 1 is
So for
is-
Schedule 1
yeah.
to be beating it on the charts is something.
yeah. I wonder, kind of, is Schedule 1 this year's Pal World? Do you know where it came out and everybody was
maybe.
like, "This is it. This is my life now. I'm gonna get a tattoo on my face that says Pal World." And then about 4 weeks later,
Although-
everybody was like, "What's that tattoo on
Pal
your
World.
face? It's a game. Don't worry about it.
Nothing.
Forget it."
I'm going to remove next month.
Yeah. So there you are.
Stuff
Anyway,
blows up, man. Stuff
yeah.
blows up.
so I
Who
just
knows
wanted
what's
to
gonna
say
be?
that Duke, you were ahead of the curve there.
He
Yeah,
is, he
Look
was.
at that.
He was.
What? I also have a sword.
we'll stop there. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway,
All
Core
right.
Keeper.
Core Keeper.
Core Keeper.
Come on, back on track.
This game
Back on
keeps
track.
coming up again. This game keeps coming up again and again on like patient gamers on Reddit and the girl gamers. A lot of people love this game, and it comes up in terms of like someone asked, "What's your go-to chill game right now?" Like, if I had a bad day and I need something to just chill out with, what should I play? And the number one answer was Core Keeper. So it was on sale, and I was like, okay, you know what? I got $13. Let's figure this out. Because there was a review that said, if Stardew Valley, Minecraft, and Terraria had a child, it would be Core Keeper.
Do you know? I'll be honest. Whenever I see a game that's compared to two other games, or it's like this with this with this or whatever, I'm always a bit worried.
Well, I don't blame you for being worried, and I'm very skeptical of
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And if I hadn't seen these
Yeah.
other people online, and it could be bots working for the company.
It's
Yeah,
just a
because-
cynical
because-
way
yeah,
of marketing, isn't
Exactly, because Atomfall to me is just kind of Fallout and Stalker sort of mushed together, isn't it?
it? It is.
You know, I'm
Set
just
in
going to do
Cumbria,
that
set
for
in
every
Cumbria.
game we do now.
Anyway, Core Keeper, you start off. This person's pretty far along in the game when we see him here.
I'll skip to the start because it.
No,
looks
it's okay. I think I
dark.
got one that starts with someone who's just like whatever. Here's the thing. It's Stardew Valley. It's more open than Stardew. It's all underground. Okay, so that's a little annoying because I like the fact that Stardew
Okay.
Valley is like day and night cycles. There's no day and night cycle as far as I can tell in this game, which is okay. I don't love the fact that in Stardew Valley you have to go to sleep in order to save it. If you're in the middle of a day and you got to go somewhere, whatever. Anyway, you're on some expedition. You fall into a crevice or something. You're in a cave. There's a glowing thing, and you got to figure out how to power it up. That's the whole premise of the game at the start of it. Like, that's all you have, and then you punch trees, and eventually you punch
Why are
enough trees.
trees? Why are trees
Well,
growing underground?
Exactly. It's not exactly trees. I mean, there are trees that are in this because it's an underground cave with a lot of biomes in and of itself. Which I know, whatever. But
Trees need
there are
daylight,
caves-
man. They can't
there
grow
are
in the
caves where-
dark.
I mean, whatever. There's torchlight and there's glowing plants that provide the kind of chlorophyll that presumably the trees need. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. Or maybe above you there is crevices where the daylight comes
I
in.
think you might have to let the tree thing ghost you.
No, it's a fair
was
question,
doing
though.
it. I was doing
It's
to
a
be
fair
fair. I just
question.
made a comment.
The point is that it's mostly mining and harvesting like tree roots and using that for wood in order to build your early tools, and then you eventually mine the copper. So in that sense, it's a lot like like I said, more open Stardew Valley, because in Stardew Valley you just have your farm and the town.
Is this
In this-
multiplayer? Are these NPCs?
You can play a multiplayer. I think the Let's Play I found is multiplayer, or the one that Chinny
Right.
found is multiplayer.
Okay.
So you can have multiple people running around. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, who's this other person? Because like Terraria, the thing it has in common with Terraria, one of them, is that you can make a little house and then you find these objects that if you put it in a house with a bed, then it'll attract an NPC. Now you have a person. You build a town basically this way.
Right. Okay.
So you have a shop and you have whatever. You have all the different things you would get in a normal RPG, but you have to attract them by building homes and finding their objects to put in those homes, like in Terraria. It's the combat's not great. So the fact that combat is a pretty small part of the game is a relief, but it does mean that, in order to power up this glowing thing you found, you have to find the crystals that go into the 3 statues that move away from this glowing thing you found.
Sure.
And the first boss that I had to kill in order to get the first thing, the crystal that you need or whatever, it was this big bouncing slime ball. And he moves so fast, and you don't move very quickly. So I had like distance weapons, but they don't work super well. It's kind of hard to, imagine in 2D Zelda if you were shooting distance weapons, right? Like that's tough, right?
Yeah.
So, but fortunately, again, like I said, it's not a big part of the game. One of the nice things in the game is that there are these like minions or like, I don't know, little monsters that will fight with you or for you. So there's one that's a bat and he just shoots fireballs every once in a while. And then I have one that will make you run faster when he's active and stuff. So those things make a big difference. And really that's what the game's about, is about not you being the hero, but you are the hero, but it's not you just getting the skills and learning how to fight the monsters. It's you getting these power-ups to make yourself more powerful. And then you don't have to even fight the monsters very much yourself.
Yeah, I can see that.
If I was to compare it to 2 games,
Yeah, what would you say, Chinny?
I'd compare it to top-down
GoldenEye?
top-down Minecraft.
Yeah.
But only the boring bit where you're underground.
Yeah, where you get
And,
trapped in a cave.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder? I can see where you're
I'm
going
not
with
gonna
that.
look
Like
fodder.
cannon fodder.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say
Yeah,
about
this is a no.
a benefit that it has compared to Minecraft is that you can, I don't know if you can see them here, but sometimes when you're mining, there will be sparkles on the border of the screen. And that means there's copper ore here, or tin, or
okay.
iron later on.
Right.
So that's really nice because, as you know, in Minecraft, you just got to go down the fucking hallway and just bang
Hope
on
for the
shit and hope
best.
you find Yeah, exactly. It can be very annoying. So this is a very nice quality of life. It doesn't take much, but it makes a big deal to be like, okay, at this point, after playing for 2 hours, I've got more copper than I can deal with. You know what I mean? Which is really, it's a good problem to have. So, also, occasionally when you're mining, you'll hit a rock that starts flashing red, and you have to run away, obviously, and then it explodes and it blows up a big part of the area you're in. So if there's copper in that area, you'll get the copper ore, and if it opens up into a a new area, then it's very nice because it cuts down on some of the drudgery of mining when you blow up these little blocks.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So I
Very
mean,
nice.
I think, no disrespect, but I think this looks shit. But probably by
That's
next
fine.
week, more people will be playing this than have ever played any
Yeah,
video game ever.
it probably will be. Probably will be.
There
Just
probably
out-
are more people playing this than Avowed right now.
All I ever keep
Probably.
thinking about whenever we say anything like that is World of Tanks.
World of Tanks.
Eh?
World of
Not
Tanks.
everybody loves the same kind of stuff, and the
Because
graphics on this game are very basic. There's no
We
doubt about that.
we trolled that game to
Yeah.
buggery when we went to
We played
EGX
it-
one year. We was like, "This is shit."
I think I called it something like World of Wanks or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
and
then it became one
it
of the
turned out
biggest games in the world.
one of the biggest games ever.
Yeah.
And you still don't play it. You still don't like it.
And Tara still
is fine.
has the World of Tanks T-shirt that I gotta.
Wow.
Does she? I see.
It's probably
On
worth
point.
something now.
On point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you looked
there
at the
you go.
T-shirt, you wouldn't think it's worth anything.
Yeah.
well.
World of Tanks.
The other thing I'll say about this game real quick before we move on is that you can paint your chests, which I didn't think was a big deal until I,
thought you
did
meant
it. And I was like,
you-
oh
you-
God, no, not
like
your torso.
Your torso. I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
can you
not your
paint your
torso.
chest?
No.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: in Minecraft, as you know, you have chests. You can make signs and tell you what's in them.
Yeah.
But that's still, you look at it and you can't tell what's where just from a distance. In this game, it's like, oh, the blue chest is where I keep all my food.
You
The
can
green
color
chest is where I'm going
code
to
it.
put.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
that's
And it
pretty
makes
good.
such a big difference. It's
Yeah.
such a nice little thing that
That's
presumably
pretty
didn't
good.
take
That's a
much
pretty cool
work.
idea.
So the game is filled with stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like we know that a lot of games don't have these parts to them, and you would like it if they did. So we'll just give them to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And the name is Stupid Core Keeper, and like I said, the combat's not great. There's some annoying things about it. It's not as must keep playing as Stardew Valley, but it is the type of thing where I start playing and like I look up and I'm like, oh shit, an hour went by. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah, I like
Oh,
it.
well,
It's fun.
maybe it's going to be your next one. Never know.
It's weird
You're
that I'm
always
playing this
looking.
instead of Avowed.
I know
but,
you're
you
always
hey.
looking, aren't you? You're
Oh,
always
yeah.
looking
I'm
for that next.
Not
one.
always. Some weeks I'll come in, I'll be like Minecraft, Rocket
Yeah.
League, Once Human.
Yeah.
So,
But not this week.
so at this point, shall we talk about South of Midnight? Shall we
Yeah.
do that?
I think we should talk about the Blame My Game. Every week,
Yeah, bitch.
Play my game, bitch.
we pick a game to play together. And we call it Play My Game, bitch. This week it's South of Midnight,
South of Midnight.
made by the same studio that did, was it Control?
No, we happy
we
few.
happy few.
We Happy
We-
Few, but they did
we-
another one before that. What was it called? It was a one-word title.
Not a clue.
Not
Okay.
a clue. Have a look.
Go on.
Not a
Have a
clue.
look.
South of Midnight, for people that don't know,
Not a
is
clue.
a third-person action combat game where you play
Yes.
as a young lady. Don't remember her name, but she's in the deep south, and her mother. She lives in this sort of caravanish sort of
On stilts.
on stilts.
Stilts.
In
Yeah.
a flooding area, and I think that's a bad move straight away.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And then
Can I
her
just
name is
say
Hazel,
as
by
well?
the way.
Can I just say I feel like
Hazel, yes.
action game is a bit of a stretch because there's no action or game.
Right, hold on,
no,
hold
no,
on.
no,
Let's
I
hold on,
disagree
hold
with
on.
that. No, 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 that's
Let me
not true.
finish
That's
what
totally
happens.
not
Let me-
true.
So what happens is
It takes
you-
a long time till
you-
you actually take control.
Shut
Wow,
up.
are you the one complaining
So-
about the lack
so,
of action? I'm usually that one.
Yeah.
You like the lore is like, oh, there's a thread and something, and like
There's a weaver who weaves
weaver
things
who
together
weaves
in order
things.
to
Yeah.
help the Haints, who are the evil
Sure.
spirits. And
Yeah.
this is based in actual regional folklore from the southern United States. Just
Yeah.
for the
And
record.
then
I love, by the way, I
your mum
love
gets
all
washed
that.
away in that stilt house, by the way, and you have to go check.
Yes, she does.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, it does. I must admit, I was like, when am I actually going to do something? Because it was like it do your
Yeah, there's-
it do this
agreed.
cutscene for about 10 minutes,
Right.
and then
Wait a
you
minute.
get the tiniest little bit of gameplay.
You packed a box full of stuff, Stu. That was exciting.
Oh yeah, that was exciting. And then there's a big
Hold on,
cutscene,
Hold on.
and then you run across
Let's-
the road. then there's another massive cutscene.
wait. This is coming from the guy
I know, right?
that will just read the fucking story.
I
Yeah,
know, I know.
this is the guy who plays the game where
But-
the big action is this.
Yeah, where the guy just bounces
But-
around and he just reads it, and they're just
Yeah,
looking at their
but-
phone, and you've got to choose
But
whether
this
they say
game
this or
is
that.
described as an action
No,
game. Okay,
yeah,
so
exactly.
I, hear
I
you.
know what I'm
Right,
getting,
Okay,
don't
yes,
I?
I hear you, Stu. I hear you. But here's the thing. Look, I'm usually that guy complaining about the
Don't
lack
get me
of
wrong, I think
ability
it
and
looks
access in the
brilliant.
game. It does look brilliant. You go over, check on your neighbors, and then your mom's house washed away, and you have to go run after it. Now, fortunately, the one thing we know to be true about her is that she was on a running team. So they set that up in a very subtle way, so that when
it is.
she's running after the house, it makes sense that she's very good at running. Get it? Everyone
Get it.
follow that? It's a very complicated part of the story.
Yeah, it is.
But there is a lot of action when you're chasing after the house because you're going across the river and the fucking transformers are
little bit.
exploding
Yeah,
around
yeah,
you.
it is.
I'm not saying it's like difficult or anything, but it is action.
I'm sorry,
It's
Stu, but
exciting.
like the intro is just fine. Like, there's no
I
problem.
mean,
with it at
there's a
all.
lot of faffing about at the start.
There
of the
is a
game.
lot of
They're,
faffing
they're,
about
they're
it.
creating the tension between her and her mom.
Every
and
fucking
whatnot.
video game has a slow
But
intro.
can I just say,
Well, not everyone,
that
but
is
most of
that's
them.
only a very small criticism.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's only a
and
very
it's
small
and that's
criticism.
and the rest of the game. I think I came in thinking like because I played this like an hour before we went in, and I was like, "Ugh, I don't feel like playing this. I dealt with Rocket League children, and hi Duchess. But as soon as it started, I was like, okay, I'm curious about these little animals running around on the screen,
Yeah.
and then like let's be honest, we don't get a whole lot of video games where we have an interesting relationship between black women. They're not usually front and center, and it's there. And I read a review from The Verge, which is really good, by someone named Ash Parrish. The headline is, "It's a game worth hollering about because it pays homage to black and Southern culture in a way that no other game has before." And I think that's really cool. So thank you,
it's
Jason
really
Blahar,
true.
for
It's totally
recommending
true.
this. And it
Totally
is.
true.
It is.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah.
The voice acting, can I say, is I think really up there. I
Top
think
draw.
voice acting,
Yeah, top draw.
Agreed.
top draw.
And I liked
think
I liked
the
the
scripting is
scene
great.
with the daughter and the mom because it felt like a real.
Yeah, it did.
It felt natural.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I get a little tired of the trope of teenage person, especially teenage girl, doesn't appreciate their mom until it's too late, and they were like, "Oh, it's a little rough on her." But at the same time, it generally does vibe.
Do you know
with,
what,
like,
though?
humans.
At least you can remember everything.
Yeah, that's right. There's no amnesia in this game, so
There's
far as
no
we know.
amnesia.
Maybe there's some.
And her grandma's horrible. Her grandma's
Is that
alright,
her
nasty
grandma?
old-
I don't
I
think.
think
I
Oh
think
no,
it's
no!
just
Oh,
a-
you're talking about the woman on the hill.
Yeah, the woman
Bunny.
on the hill.
Oh,
right,
Bunny.
yeah.
Yeah, that's because she represents the old systems
Oh,
of white
that's
That's
supremacy,
because
and
she's
she's to
white.
blame.
You.
Yeah,
Right,
she's
exactly.
Horrible woman.
Which is a little simplistic, but they did make her next door neighbor, who's a white dude, into a kind of a goofy character. He's not
Like
horrible,
a redneck,
so.
but yeah, it's fine.
But he's not a evil redneck. He didn't have a Confederate
But-
flag or nothing.
I think they should have lent into that and made all the white people bad.
Yeah, they should have done.
I'd have liked
I
it more.
I like all the exploration stuff. I like the story. I like the sort of voice acting, like this, the dialogues. I think is really superb.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the combat is bad.
I didn't even get to any combat.
No, well,
You didn't get to any
Yeah.
combat.
And every review, yeah. Well, as soon as she met Bunny, I was like, all right, I need it because I didn't have much time. I had to.
I was
make
gonna
lunch
say
and
that it
stuff.
doesn't take long till you do some combat.
I know.
But from what I
every
can
review I've
gather,
seen talks about how the combat is really not great.
it's so repetitive.
Yeah.
It is just
How far into
repetitive.
the combat did you get?
I did get quite a way. I have leveled up a few of the powers, and I've got some new stuff.
So you can do like
I've played it for quite a while.
the LB and the right trigger.
Yeah,
and all
I
that
can
sort
do
of
a
stuff.
lot. Droid. But fuck me, right?
No.
If you're out of combat,
Oh, right, you carrying on with
the
the thing.
cooldowns are really quick.
Yeah.
In combat, it's pointless having the extra powers because as soon as you use one, you've nearly finished a battle by the time you can use it again.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and that dragging things towards you and throwing them at stuff, half of the time it wouldn't do it because it wasn't aimed right. And then I had to wait for a cooldown. I'm just like, this is fucking shit. Give me some fluid combat. This isn't fluid. Because it's stop start all the time.
I will
hated
admit,
it.
I will admit, I do like this game very much, and I've heard some criticisms about it, and I will admit that the combat feels janky. Is like
Yeah,
just sticky,
I'd have rather
very sticky.
it just
and...
wasn't there. Like no combat would.
No,
I would have been
that's
happy with that.
insane, Stu.
No, it isn't.
That's
I'd have been
insane.
happy
Because
with
then the
just
game turns into one of your
narrative.
walking simulator games.
Exactly, I'd be
Ugh,
happy with
disgusting. No, give me a game.
Yeah,
The
well,
main,
that. Give me some puzzles.
the main critique I've heard about this game, which I don't think is valid, but a lot of people have been saying it feels like a game from the 360 and PS3 era.
No, I don't think that at all.
And I'm
I think the reason
it
people
looks
say that
way
is because
too
the
good.
art style kind of looks like Walking Dead Season 1.
I disagree.
I think people. I mean,
No.
it's a good art style, and I think the art is very good in this game. But I can see how people would see the art style in this game and think back to.
No, I disagree. I think it's because of the style of game it is. It's linear.
yeah.
It could be that.
It's,
Sure,
it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
linear. There's no open world. There's no bells. This game
it's
is a
not
video
not
game.
very creative.
It goes
from a, like,
when you
gameplay
die,
point
you
of
come
view.
back, right? Like it just
Yeah,
and it
right.
gives you all
Yeah,
the powers,
right.
and it goes, "This game is
Yeah,
a video
yeah,
game."
Sure,
and
sure.
you climb up some things, and you
Yeah.
you go into a little combat
Yeah,
arena, which
it's
is a
very
big
simplistic.
circle area, and
Yeah.
then once that circle area, when you've done it, the vines like disappear. That's like a battle arena, and then you go on to the next bit. So it just feels like
It's very rinse repeat.
yeah, it feels. But people have been saying it feels like a game from the 360 era. Like that's a fucking bad thing. To
Yeah,
like,
really.
That's fine.
There were some really good games on the 360,
Like-
motherfuckers.
like what goes around comes around. So that we haven't had like simple. This is a game, like a video game.
Right, and the
that,
question
like,
is, if it's
nice to
missing
play.
something, tell us what it's missing. But just to call it a 360 style game
Yeah.
is not a deep
think-
cut, man.
I think the only thing they've got to sort of lean into that does look very, very different is obviously the sort of the backdrop where it's set, but also the claymation, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
style, which they do a better job of pulling off in the intro because that I think that was
Yeah.
like a better
That's fair.
intro of it. I don't know if it was real claymation, but it was close.
No, I don't think it is, but, it does look good.
It was look good, and then I think the game
Yeah.
kind of that almost felt like a proof of concept to me, like what you'd make at the start of this kind of project.
Yeah,
But
sure.
the
right.
game doesn't quite live up to looking like that, but it's close and it looks good.
Oh yeah, it does look amazing.
Look amazing.
I feel like the story, the setup, the backdrop, and all the stuff that's going on around the very mediocre game mechanics actually make up for that, if that makes
Yeah,
any
sure.
sort of
Yeah.
sense.
Totally. Totally. And here's something that I find like there's an attention to detail. This article that I shared with y'all, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but it's a review in The Verge of this game from this point of view of this black woman named Ash Parrish. And I mentioned that she's a black woman because I think that this game's going to resonate with black women in a way that it doesn't white guys, you know, just it can't. So she talks
Who
about
better
how
to review it than three white guys on a podcast?
exactly. But she says that there's an homage to a painter named Annie Lee in a painting called Blue Monday that shows up in this game. One of the chapter titles in this game apparently is a reference to Their Eyes Were Watching God, which is a Zora Neale Hurston novel, and it's really good. And she says, I spoke to the voice and motion capture director for the game, and he talked about how he wanted to ensure every aspect that coming across is authentic. And this motion director is an African-American gentleman. Right down to the way folks stood. And so the fact that there's such attention to detail and the fact that people can see themselves in this game, not just in terms of like, I can make my character a black woman like me if at the start of the game, if I want to, but like, this is a story about a black woman in the same way that The Witcher is about a black guy and his, or a white guy and his, you know, white
Whichever you
stepchild
play.
or whatever.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
which
right,
did you
exactly.
play?
But no, here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. And Shinny, maybe you already know this, but
No, probably.
Go, let's hear it.
okay. The motion captured and voice director for this game is named Ahmed Best.
Okay.
Do you know who Ahmed Best is?
Yes, I do.
Tell us, and I will play the sound. Shinny.
He plays Jar Jar Binks.
So it's so weird to me that Jar Jar Binks is one of the most hated
is.
examples of like stereotyping and, you know, step and fetch it in the modern entertainment universe. And he was working so hard to make sure that this game is a positive and awesome representation of blackness in a video game screen. I just find that fascinating.
Like he's an interesting guy because he
Yeah.
had a rough time after Star
Oh,
Wars.
yeah. Oh, people hated him.
Yeah, and he contemplated suicide and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think basically he now works on things to you know, like improve people's perception on black culture and stuff.
Yeah,
but you know,
right.
you think
Apparently
about
he teaches at Stanford University and stuff.
He's
which is really
he's a
cool.
young guy. He's got invited to do Star Wars. You know,
Yeah.
like what do you do? Of course you do it, don't you? So he doesn't
Right.
really
and
think about
and
it.
it's possible he didn't know that it was, I mean, here's the thing with Jar Jar Binks, like, is it a modern day Step and Fetch It? That's open to interpretation, right? And some people would say he should have known what it was when they asked him to do it and when this and that. But, like you said, yeah, it's Lucasfilm. They ask you to do it, you're going to do it. And if you don't like the character, you can certainly say, I'm not going to do this, but that's a big bridge to burn.
It's tough, yeah.
And, you're an actor. You're going to
also
do it.
this
And
is
you may
like-
not realize what it is when they make it into the, you're just wearing
yeah.
a green suit with ping pong balls
Like,
on
no,
it.
it actually, like in the first episode, he actually wears the suit because they're
Oh, yeah.
So he actually wears like the Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, a
outfit.
Jar Jar like
Yeah.
flesh suit. Type
Yeah,
thing.
so
Okay,
they knew what he was
gotcha.
going to look like, but
So I guess he knew, but
I don't
still,
know.
like, whatever. I'm going to give people grace when they're young, and like, that's not all who you are, right? Like, you have other things, and I'm glad he didn't let all that hate turn him into a hateful person.
you can
It
also
seems
like
he's...
just not see it. You know what I mean? He might have just done it and be like, "This is never going
Can
to be."
I?
linked
I
to-"
think that Black Americans have a vested stake in getting rid of negative portrayals of themselves on movie screens in the U.S. because there's been so many of them for so many years.
Yeah, but this was 25 years ago. Maybe he just didn't see it. You know, like at the time, he just didn't see it. It's possible, and then you look back and go, "Oh my god!" yeah,
Oh,
that's-
right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Sure,
yeah.
totally. I thought you meant like people could just not watch the movie or something.
No. Like he
hear
just
you, I
didn't
hear
see
you,
it
I hear you.
himself.
Oh,
But
yeah, it's
anyway,
possible.
he's done a fine job here, hasn't he?
He's done a fine job of this. This
He has
game
done
is
a fine
so
job.
interesting.
Now, can I,
I
just
haven't
say,
uninstalled this. I usually uninstall to play my game, but I haven't
I'm
uninstalled
gonna
it.
I'm
might
gonna
keep
finish
it.
this. I think I'm gonna play it. Yeah.
Yeah, can I just say, and you're probably gonna hate me for this comment. Right.
I would never hate you.
It's always a
Stu.
great
You're
way
gonna-
to preface
never
I know, you're
hate
gonna
I
hate
might
me.
hate the comment, but I'm not going to hate
Unless
you.
you say, unless the next comment you say is "I hate black people," then I'm never
No,
gonna
no,
hate it.
no, nothing like that. But I felt the same way, and I know it's not the same level or the same depth or anything else. So playing Thank Goodness You're Here.
Well,
Oh,
because-
really? That
yeah.
sense of place?
Sense of place. I could
Okay.
relate to
Yeah,
almost everything
sure.
in the game. I'm like, that's
And
the
that's
sort
part of
of
why you
thing I
like
remember
Adamfall,
from-
isn't it? Because it's based on a real
Yeah.
place that you're familiar with.
But I
Okay,
think
okay.
I think Thank Goodness You're Here is different though, because there's stuff in that game that only somebody from the north of England would
Yeah.
understand.
well, that
Oh,
that,
I'm sure there's stuff that in this game that you don't get.
Yeah,
But you don't realize
absolutely.
you don't get it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah.
I think there
But
is
for the
something like
people
that
who
here.
know, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, if you know,
Do you know what I mean?
you know, baby.
If you know,
Yeah.
you know. And I like games that do that for whoever it is who's playing it. You know, that gives them that feeling of like, oh my god, that I get it. They get me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like I remember that shit from my childhood. You know, I remember that sort of stuff happening. Not that stuff that happens in Thank Goodness You're Here would happen in real life, but
Right.
the stuff that's in it, you can totally like. You've seen stuff like that growing up.
even
you
like,
know.
and this is not on the same level, but even when you watch a movie and you're like, oh, I've been there, I know where that's set. Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that
yeah,
instant recognizing something that you're familiar with. I remember doing these. I had to do I do filming for a living, so I had to film these interviews at a school with these kids, right? And like
Fucking
to warm,
kids.
I know they're tough to interview kids. So to warm them up,
Especially the kid's named Mike.
to warm
Fucking
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
to warm them up, I said like, oh, who's your favorite superhero? Right? So I can just get them
Mm-hmm.
talking, right?
Yeah.
And I go, who's your favorite superhero? Every kid that was Indian or black said either Black Panther or Miles
Yeah.
Morales. They never said
Oh, yeah, there you
Superman.
go.
They never said Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Nothing. They
Yeah.
they all
Interesting.
said those kids. I was like,
Fuck
that's
you, Batman.
That's
But it's
how we get
relatable,
Batman.
isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
that's
what
how
they relate
important
to.
it is.
Representation matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I haven't
We
Hilarious.
watched
showed.
Fresh again this weekend. Oh my God, Fresh is such a great movie. If you like chess and you like crime movies, watch Fresh. Samuel L. Jackson's best performance ever.
I haven't
Go on.
showed Tara this film, this game, because I don't know. Like we don't get a lot of time, but I'll be interested to see what she thinks, and
Yeah.
I imagine she would think it's cool, but she would never play it because she doesn't have time. But
Yeah.
I remember like one of the first games I ever saw that had a black person as the lead. Right, I remember being quite like, oh, I'll try that. Like I've never played like a game,
Yeah, oh,
and it
sure.
was,
This is something new.
and I was really excited to play it. This is something new. This is something cool. Played it. It was fucking awful. It was awful. Right, it was a terrible game. It was called.
Well, that's the thing. Representation matters, but so does the fun of
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
I think
Has
it
to
was
be funner.
called. Hold on, let me just see if I've got it. Yeah,
I think Beyond Good and Evil is the first one I remember seeing.
it was called Shadow Man 64. It was this for the Nintendo
Shadow Man
64. Yeah,
That sounds
and I
terrible.
remember just thinking like, oh, it's got a black guy. You play as a black guy. That's
Yeah,
cool.
okay,
and I played it, and it was the fucking worst thing I ever played. But you know, we're a long
It's
way
like
from
black exploitation. Like, look, we have black heroes on the screen. Yeah, they're all pimps and they're like just murdering
Yeah.
everybody, and they aren't good movies, but at least we're in them.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've come a long
But this,
way.
is,
Yeah,
a,
this
this
is-
is a really good game, and
It
thank
is.
you again. Thank you, Jason Gallagher, for mentioning it.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been on
Um,
my radar screen without it.
Really like the catfish, by the way. Have you got to the catfish yet?
Catfish.
Oh yeah, the catfish
no.
character.
Did I ever tell you the story about catfish in our family?
I feel
My
like I
bro-
played way more of this game than you two.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently you have. My brother and I, catfish is an instant clutch your stomach laughing moment. We went to a wedding one time. Our family in the South had a wedding, and we went to the wedding, and after it wasn't the rehearsal dinner. That's a big dinner, right? This was like
Yeah.
before the rehearsal, like the night before, and there were lots of family in town, so we all went. And then she gave us the directions to the restaurant. This was before cell phones. And we went there, and on the way there, because she had said, it's this catfish restaurant. I thought we could get some catfish. It's authentic, Southern U.S. And my mom, the whole time over to the restaurant, she kept going, catfish? Who likes catfish? Why don't we go to like a Bennigan's or something, which is the most boring beige diner chain in the United States. And she said, everyone can get what they want. I don't want catfish. So now my brother, anytime I see the word catfish in the world, I
Yeah.
send him a picture of it.
Yeah.
Catfish.
You know, that's like
I love my
Kay's,
mom, but
that's like Kay's mum and dad, and they went out for a meal when Kay was a kid. And on the menu, they had catch of the day. You know, like they used to have these on crappy pub menus. Oh, catch of the day.
sure.
But by mistake, she said match of the day.
Ooh, all right.
And she's never lived it down. It's like when she's a British program for football.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Whenever
I
you
got you.
bring anything up that were funny, it's like, hey, do you remember when you said match of the day?
Wait, you held on to something and made fun
No,
of
I
someone else
didn't.
about it?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Not
Okay,
mine.
okay.
It's okay. And
Gotcha,
sister
gotcha,
Judith.
Oh,
I
I
wasn't
gotcha.
with her when she was a child. What's the matter with
Yeah,
you?
but if you have something you can make fun of someone for, I know I do that with the Duchess all day, every day.
All the day, every day.
She said the thing wrong. She's gonna hear about it for 6
so-
years.
So I'm guessing we got 3 thumbs up, have we?
3 thumbs
3
up.
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Good night in the South.
If
Doesn't
we,
happen
if,
often.
well, basically, if we thumb it down, we're massive racists. That's the.
Yeah, we are.
that's the-
By the way, I have-
you thumbed down Shadow Man or whatever it was.
yeah,
so.
fuck,
Yeah.
that was fucking shit. That's fine.
I have got one more minor criticism I didn't mention, actually.
Go ahead.
The camera has a
I didn't
habit.
find the camera to be a problem.
No, but it automatically points you where you need to go. You
it
Yes,
feel
it
like
does. And I like that. I
and it's
wrote that
like,
down as a
no,
good
I
thing.
hate it. I hated it because I'm like, I want to look over here. Why are you making me look over there straight away?
You've been playing Atomfall though, so you don't know where you're going.
Exactly. I don't need it to hold my
And you don't
hand.
want to know.
And
Yeah,
also,
that much.
this game,
This game does the
linear as
thing
fuck.
of it is linear as fuck, but it's like it
Yeah,
gives
but
you,
it's
it
even-
gives you the
it's
freedom to
even
go where you
more
want, but then
linear.
it's
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
but why
And
do you
it's
point the
like-
camera if it's so linear? It's fine.
Yeah, well, you could turn that off. I'm sure there's some.
I don't know.
something in
I
the
didn't like.
opening
I didn't like that
options.
much.
I mean, I
But
hear
it
you.
felt like I
kinda
was
liked it.
fighting with you. I'm like, why am I fighting with the
I
camera?
know.
I liked.
Um,
Sorry, dude. I liked how quick it gave you all the power ups because I looked at the
Yeah.
skill tree and I was like, okay, I'll find out what that is in about like an hour or two. And then he's like,
Yeah,
the
there's
next
no messing
room, it
with
was
that.
like, here's
Here
your
you
other
go.
thing, and I'm like, sweet,
Okay.
I like it.
I like how also like Alan Wake, you go toward the light in this game, so that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool. I like that. And in the review, I'm gonna keep shut up about this review after now, but
Yeah, shut up
she
about the
talks about
review.
how a lot of times in games it'll be yellow where you're supposed to climb to, and in this game it's blue. And she's like, that feels meaningful to me. Like it connects to. Imani Perry just released a book all about black people in the color blue, and so I think it's an interesting choice in this game. So whatever. Yeah, thumbs up. Sound at Midnight.
Yeah, it's a bit of flower, by the way, as well. I forgot to mention that. A little bit of flower. When you
There
clear
are
it,
flowers.
all flowers pop up.
Wow,
Yes,
yeah.
but you're not a flower because that would be a
No, you're
ridiculous
not a
thing in
flower.
video
That'd be
game.
weird.
That'd be
You're
a
not the
stupid
wind.
video game.
You're not the wind in this game.
All right, I got one more game to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, I got 2, but I'm gonna leave one for next week.
Yeah, leave one for because we've got a
You
lot of
do
emails.
that. Got so
Peppered.
many emails.
Well,
Peppered, an existential platformer,
The fuck?
is a game that I played
okay.
because I just finished this book with my students called Grendel, which is an existential novel. So I was like, ooh, existentialism in video games. I'm not holding my breath that it's going to do it right, and but I'll give it a try. So the question is, does this hold up as an existentialist platformer? Does it offer some interesting food for thought, or is it A piece
there
of
you go.
shit. And in fact, it is a piece of shit. I wrote,
Piece
imagine
of
the
shit. Did you just write that?
Imagine if the makers of the Stanley Terrible made a smarmier game that was also a pixel platformer with a lot of dumb jokes about people getting fired and having their heads cut off. It's so
Is that it?
exhausting. That's it. That's the whole review, man.
Oh my god. Just out of interest, have you watched the show Severance?
I have been told to, but I have not done so.
Don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
I'm going to do it. I
Don't
like
do
Adam
it.
Scott.
No,
I've
see-
heard a lot of good things about what it is talking about.
Why are you telling him not
Did
to?
you did you know
No
he-
spoilers, please.
No spoilers, but did you know he said he based a lot of the show on the Stanley Parable?
Did he really?
Yeah. That was one of
Wow.
his biggest influences for the
All
TV
right.
show.
Well, that changes things a little bit. It means I'm not quite so urgent to watch it. But you know what? Hey, look, lots of people are inspired by shit and they make good stuff. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad show.
So, you know.
But this is a bad game.
I'll warn you in
Peppered-
advance.
And I appreciate that warning. Peppered, an existential platformer, way too full of itself, way too head stuck up its own ass, trying to be clever. And it's trying to get you to play over and over and over again to make different choices along the way.
Nope.
I did 2 run-throughs and I was like, fuck this. This is not
Yeah,
worth my
forget
time.
it.
I can see what you're doing and I don't like it. It's like Happy
Uh,
Gilmore. You know what? I know what you're trying to do right now and I don't like it, pal.
Talking of games that you play over and over again,
Oh,
Yes.
are we gonna play Blueprints?
I think we have to. I've played
Yeah.
it. I've played
Have
it, but
you
I didn't
played
want to talk about it till you two guys had played it.
because this is another game that's taken over the fucking world. at the
Oh
moment.
yeah, it has.
Sorry,
So-
is this the new Play My Game bitch then?
Yeah. This is, so I
Yeah.
think
Is
it's
it on
Taking
Game
over the
Pass?
world.
Yes.
It's every article I see is about
Blueprints.
it.
yeah. So
I've not heard of
Blueprints,
it.
that's as in
Blueprints.
blue, royal
Yes.
Blueprints.
prince.
Prince. Okay.
Yeah.
Or is it the game formerly known as Prince?
No.
No,
But the
Okay. What kind of
third-
game is it?
It's don't tell him.
no. It's a little
Don't
bit
tell
like.
him.
Every
gonna-
dawn unveils a new mystery. Navigate through
It's-
shifting corridors
Whoa,
and ever-changing chambers. Ugh.
God, he's telling me off, and I'm not doing anything. If Duke decides to go into a whole thing about it,
Right.
I'm
no,
reading the description on
you
Xbox
know,
Game Pass.
I think Duke will like it because it had some Myst vibes for me. I'll
The
just say
person,
that.
the person who made it, it's made by one person, and he was inspired by Mist and Riven.
does
and
feel
and
very
and and he loved Riven as well. Like he was really.
Yeah,
into
it
that.
totally.
Alright,
I've
alright.
not read many reviews that have referenced Myst or Riven, but to
But
me,
but
moment I
the
started
guy
playing it-
who made it said that he was inspired.
Yeah,
by
yeah,
it.
yeah. But I'm saying I
Okay.
didn't know that. But as soon as I started playing it, I got those vibes.
Also,
So-
this is a game that I've heard a lot of people talk about, and a lot of people say that they have to make actual physical notes with.
Oh yeah, it
I'm
says
okay
get
with
a
that.
note. It says get a notepad at the side, which is very misty. Can I just say?
That is very misty, no doubt. That
So
was a
we'll
time
play
when
that.
we didn't have in-game journals.
Yeah.
Of course, we do have them now, so the fact that they don't give you one now is kind of, I don't know, like, is there a need to not have an in-game journal now? Because
think
I
it's
kind of like
just-
not having to write down notes. Because
Yeah.
you know what I do have to write down notes for often? The things I teach all day, every day.
The game. I think the game's attitude to that is fuck you. Write the note.
Yeah. Fuck you. He wants to go old
I
school.
love a game that tells me fuck me. I hear that every day in Rocket League. Why do I need a video game telling me that?
Yeah. So
I just told you about these angry children.
Everybody's saying it's like, oh, it's a potential game of the year. This is the one. I'm
Okay.
going
Well,
I'll
let's
play
wait and
Blueprints for
see.
next week. Everybody out there, play Blueprints.
I think everybody out there's already
I
playing
think everybody's
Blueprints.
playing it.
I don't know. They would be talking about it in the chat if they were.
I don't know. Okay, let's do some emails.
Okay, let's do some emails.
Heartbreaking decision to make about whether his best friend lives or dies.
I have no idea why there was two sound clips playing at the same time. There.
Because one's the theme song that we hear every week, and one was
Yeah.
a little something extra to spice it up.
Okay.
Calm down.
Right. First email this week is from Alex Green, and he says,
What does he say, Stu?
video game soundtracks. That's what he
Oh,
says.
sweet. Final Fantasy VII. Next question. Next email.
He says, hello, veterans.
Yes.
I am traveling
Speaking of Myst and soundtracks,
Wow.
you are traveling. Yes, go ahead.
I am traveling over the Easter holidays to visit family for the car journey. I want to listen to video game soundtracks. My most played soundtrack is Assassin's Creed 2. I listened to that a lot, and now has become a bit boring. If you were going on a car journey and could only listen to video game soundtracks, what soundtracks would you listen to? Any favorites?
Red Dead 2.
Good question.
Yeah,
Red Dead 2 has a
2
very
is-
good
yeah.
soundtrack. Myst. So I actually said Myst before I even knew what it was. The Myst soundtrack was so good. The music, it was so good that I actually connected my Macintosh computer to my tape deck, and I found the sound files on the CD-ROM, and then just played them in a loop for a while, and made an audio cassette of the music from Myst before you could buy the soundtrack from Myst. So that's how good the Myst music was. And Riven is also very good. Exile is okay, but it's not nearly as good as the Myst and Riven soundtracks.
Yeah, I would suggest, because I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not a massive video game soundtrack person to listen to. I don't really do it very often.
Yeah.
But Alan Wake has got some great songs, but it's not really like a soundtrack. It's just the cool songs from
licensed
the end.
music.
It's a
All the
But
like-
as Adam says on Parks and Rec, Adam Scott, who plays Ben, it's like the director of the movie, or in this case the game, made a playlist for you.
Yeah, I mean, some of the I've listened to loads of movie soundtracks over the years because I really like movie soundtracks. And my favorites Pulp Fiction. Obviously, it's
Oh,
a
it's a great
no-brainer.
one, yeah.
Such great.
So you like
And I
movie soundtracks where they just feature licensed music?
Yeah, I'm
rather
more
than-
of a licensed music kind of person.
I think.
although
yeah, okay, go on.
although I really like the Romeo and Juliet one, Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Because
good
there's
too.
a
I
really
agree.
cool like licensed music one, but there's a really cool movie score one as well, and they're both really well done. So
I
I
like
would definitely.
the Daft Punk Tron.
Tron one, yeah,
Yeah.
that was,
Yeah,
that was good. But they
that's
needed more
good.
drums. I was so mad about how there weren't more drums in that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Man, you're
More
Daft Punk.
It's
Daft
yeah,
Punk.
Red Dead 2's got a great soundtrack. They're all
Yes,
made
it
for the
does.
game, and some of them
Yeah.
sound like licensed tracks, but they're all made for the game. I would say Hotline Miami.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good
classic.
it's got a
shout. Good
soundtrack.
shout.
I loved that one. When I played that game, I was like, right, I've got to start
Yeah.
listening to these songs.
Yeah.
So those are the two that stand out for me.
What was
So it's
it?
funny because on my seasons playlists, I have a summer, spring, autumn, and winter playlist, and on each of those, I have some music from the Stardew Valley playlist. And the Duchess always makes fun of it when it comes on. She's like, "You got video game songs?" I was like, "Shut up! This is a good song." It's like very 8-bit, so it's like way old school video game music. So she makes fun of that too. I'm like, "Don't be hating."
I sometimes listen to Minecraft music when I need to concentrate at work. When I want just like a chill
Yeah.
out, sort of
Sure.
like chill out, and that's the sign of a good soundtrack. If the in-game
agreed.
music and you still listen to it outside, it's like
That's the other thing. Core Keeper has very good in-game music. I really like listening to the music in Core Keeper.
What was the sci-fi game on Sony where you're on like a light bike thing on a bike? Don't worry, it's not a bike, but like in
A motorcycle, like a light cycle in Tron.
not a light cycle. It wasn't a light cycle. That's wrong. Like a little mini rocket, where you were going really fast.
Oh, Wipeout 2097.
Wipeout, there you go, there's a
Yeah,
soundtrack.
Oh, that's one of the best soundtracks ever. Yeah, because it's all licensed music. So it's got speaking of Daft Punk and Chemical Brothers and Prodigy and Future Sound of London. We have explosive.
Yeah, it's got some great tracks on there.
Photech, man. That Photech jam is the what?
You could probably find all of these on Spotify, even if they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
exist. Someone will have
Yeah,
made.
people
them.
have made a exactly.
Will have made it.
Last movie soundtrack I got to mention is Fight Club. Revolutionary.
Fight Club.
Beautiful
Great.
music. And not your usual like orchestral score, because that movie shouldn't have an orchestral score. It drives me nuts. Terminator 2 is another one. The Brad Fidel did the music on that, and it's so appropriate because it's not your traditional strings and oboes and shit. It's like we have other ways to make a movie soundtrack now. And the final one I'll say, I know I just said that, but this really is The Social Network.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you
a
know what
good
Alex
soundtrack.
is going to say? What the fuck is this? I asked for video games.
Okay.
Exactly.
fuck?
Another video
We
game
gave you
one.
some.
I'll give you another video game one. Right.
Final Fantasy 7.
Fucking Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. That was a great soundtrack.
I got a video game soundtrack for you. You ready?
No. Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. See, these think I'm joking. Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. Fucking top tier soundtrack that
I
was.
think I remember that one.
Anyway.
a step above the usual Nintendo soundtrack.
Anyway, he says, I'm looking for some new suggestions. Hope you could help. Well, I hope we did. I hope we did.
Yeah, we just gave you a whole bunch to listen to. Some from movies, some from games,
It'll be-
and then there's the Nimona soundtrack, which is from a TV show. So
Do you know Blue Prince needs a pad and pen? That's what he'll be doing now. We keep rewinding and writing everything down. We said that's what he'll be up to now.
sure.
Yeah, don't forget. Thank you for reading, Alex. You're very welcome. Hope you like what
Yeah.
we suggested. Let us know
That's
if
right.
you did. Let us know
Yeah.
if you did.
Let us know the favorite of all the things we said.
Next
Pick
email.
one.
This
Someone has to be the winner.
next email this week's off Joan Collins. Joan Collins has
What?
written in again.
John
Joan
Collins.
Collins. I don't think she has.
John.
I said every time I look at it, I think it says Joan.
It's
Joan
hilarious.
Collins. It's hilarious. Don't let a difference. Don't let a difference. He says, "Why so dark?" Ew, why so dark?
Because that's the way the world is, man. You just don't get it.
He says,
don't
"Hello there,
Hello.
Yeah.
hello there, hello there. I just
Hello.
started."
Hello.
Shut up! God love us.
Come on.
Go ahead, read the
Email.
email.
It's like I've got a fucking weird echo. Hello there. Shut up. I
Got a weird echo.
started Star Wars Jedi Survivor the other
Oh,
day,
yeah.
which is incidentally on Game Pass now. It's on
It's a
Game Pass.
dark game.
But it was so dark.
It's really dark, man.
I had to actually bump up the brightness, and even after I had that, I had the lightsaber on full glow in the corners just to find the treasure chest there. I noticed that a lot of games have been really dark, and I often have to increase the brightness. But if you increase the brightness too much, you get a horrible picture. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's because the world's a dark place. You need a
I know.
game that shows the darkness of the human soul.
I know what's happening. Do you know what's happening? Stu?
What?
I don't know what's happening.
Do you know why
This
everything's
monitor's
dark?
all fucked up.
Do you know why everything's dark?
Because of HDR, probably.
So Donald
Do you know
Trump.
why TV shows are now fucking dark as fuck now? All the
Because
time?
of HDR. Because of HDR.
HDR
man.
and OLED screens, right?
it is.
That's why, because
It
all
is.
these fucking producers and directors and game designers, they play these games, they make these games, they test these games on all these fucking brand new TVs, and then you take them out and you watch it on your dog shit TV, which my
Yeah.
TV this week broke,
Yeah.
by the way, because Rosa smacked it
Oh,
with
no.
a shoe. But anyway,
Oh no! I'm sorry.
uh-oh.
That sucks.
Wow.
So I everybody watches it on these brand new HDR
Yeah.
OLED things.
Same with sound systems, man. I have 2 speakers connected to. Don't roll your fucking eyes at me. You want sympathy for your broken TV?
No,
You
no,
give
no.
me
I'm
sympathy.
agreeing. I'm like,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misread your rolling eyes. My bad. Yeah. Like I don't have a sound bar and 17 speakers around my room. I got a
Exactly.
amplifier and 2 fucking speakers. Let me hear Heat. We watched Heat. First of all, mid movie at the best.
Never seen it.
And the sound, I had to turn it way up. We couldn't hear shit they were saying. Come on.
Do you know? I am in the ecosystem of Sonos, right? Because I never was before.
Of
But
what?
Sonos, you know
I
Sonos.
don't know what Sonos is.
Sonos. They make speakers, equipment.
sounds painful.
So you have nice speakers.
I have a sound bar.
Okay.
Doctor, I've got Sonos.
And it's quite small.
Oh man, do you have a will?
It's quite a small sound bar.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it creates huge sound.
But I also bought the subwoofer as well. So I bought
Oh,
a
yeah.
subwoofer.
I have a subwoofer on my gaming PC here. I can hear that bass, baby.
But it does a really good job because it does like a dialogue enhancement thing, which so you can
Okay.
always hear what they're saying.
It must be nice.
But
Yeah, the other half live.
Kay's like,
Yeah.
it makes her sofa vibrate. You know, when
Yeah.
it explodes.
That's how you
on
know the
screen.
aliens are going
He's like,
overhead.
oh my god, that is so loud. And I'm like, yeah, sounds great, doesn't it? So when we have a movie night,
And she's trying to give you the hint, like, please turn it down so my
It's-
spine isn't rattling. You're like, no
such-
way.
such a good job that we're in a detached house, because I'm telling you now, if we were attached to someone, they would be seriously complaining.
Yeah.
Or your rumbling would detach the house anyway.
It's unbelievable how good it sounds. I'm always quite amazed at what comes out of this. It's not that very big, and the sound that comes out of it is just crazy.
We get it. You have a small thing that's very powerful. Okay.
It is. It's kind of impressive.
Get it? Small thing that's very powerful.
Anyway, next email this week is off David Thatcher.
Listen, listeners, it's not how big your thing is, it's how powerful it is.
It is.
Size
He
matters.
says always start off with a joke. Always start off with a
Yeah,
joke.
dick
Unless-
joke in this case.
Unless it's a funeral, then I'd leave it.
Yeah, exactly. Now then, well, it might be if the person was funny, they might appreciate a
I
joke.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Sorry for your loss.
Listen, I know y'all miss Robin Williams. We're all sad, but first, hey, my dad told me if you love Jesus, stand up. And
I
followed
think
through on
I
it.
think he would totally appreciate a joke at his funeral. I reckon he would have done.
All right.
Anyway,
David Thatcher.
there's now then knock knock.
Who's
knock
there?
knock. Who's there?
Domino.
Domino who?
Domino. Hoo, hoo.
So Duke won't
don't
get
get
that,
it.
will he?
No, he
I don't
won't.
get
It's a
that.
British
What is
advert.
it?
It's a
It's an
British
advert,
advert
okay.
for the pizza Domino's, and they go,
Oh, I see.
ooh, yeah. It's,
Oh, that sounds
So,
great.
so they've done this thing where, like, say someone's just about to be killed by the mafia,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, "Have you got anything else anything to say before we, kill you?" And he'll go, "Domino, hoo, hoo." So it's
Oh, I
kind
see.
of like,
Okay.
so that's the
it's
running.
those
joke.
sort of
Well,
ads
my
that like that you watch and you go, this is shit, and then like,
But you always remember
Like
what
the
it's
WhatsApp.
advertising.
no, that
Yeah,
was kind of funny though, that one. But like,
Well, for one
It's
time, and then they
like,
did it
have you-
73 times.
this was never
Mike.
funny. Stu.
Mike,
Okay.
I've got to ask you a question.
Go on.
Have you
And we
seen
do
the,
have time for this question.
Have you seen the Pepto Bismol advert or whatever the hell it's called?
I don't watch TV no more.
Oh, it's awful, but I remember what it's advertising.
so I
Do you know
don't
what-
know.
Well, there you go. That's
only-
the only thing that
It's
matters.
done
Is
its
sticks in your
job,
fucking
even
head,
if it's
man.
terrible.
The only TV that I watch that's sort of live is Snooker, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of Checker Trader adverts on those, and then that's it. So yeah, I'll be watching adverts. No, I won't, because it's the
Yeah,
world.
Snooker
It's-
will be
it's-
like, "Have you got life insurance?"
yeah, it'll be that. But no, it's
But speaking of knock knock jokes, knock knock,
who's there?
He's
doctor.
oh,
Oh my
God.
god, are we five?
Doctor Who.
Exterminate!
Yeah,
Exterminate!
Terrible.
Primary school.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, my students who like Doctor Who appreciate that joke. So you
See,
can hate, you can hate. I'm just saying.
But my favourite knock knock joke as a kid was knock knock.
Who was there?
Shitamish.
Shitamish who?
You shit in your shoe, you dirty bastard.
Ah! Or I eat
Anyway.
my. I eat mop.
poo.
I eat mop. Yeah.
I eat my
poo.
poo. And there's Ipe. Knock knock. Who's a Ipe?
I poo. I
Yeah,
poo.
yeah.
I've got a
I
knock
think-
knock joke. Do you want to hear it?
Oh, go
Go
on,
ahead.
go on.
Yeah.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
It's me. It's me.
Me who?
No, it's Mike. Like Mike. Well, why are you saying who? Like
Oh,
you can
oh,
see me on your doorbell app. You fucking idiot.
I have a good knock knock joke, but somebody else has to start it.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Me.
Me who?
That's really good, actually, too.
See, I
like
actually
that.
like that because someone will, and then you just see where they take it. What the fuck is this?
Here, I've got one. I've got one final
All right,
joke.
go ahead. One final joke, Stu. Go ahead.
What's the difference between a tuna fish, a piano, and a pot of glue?
A tuna fish, a piano, and a pot of glue. I don't know what is the difference
Keith
between them.
Chedwick.
You can
Keith Chedwick. No,
you
go on.
can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna.
So let's move on to the next email. I know.
Okay.
Doesn't he say something at the end of that email, Stu? David.
You
Thatcher?
didn't even do the joke. You two are terrible.
I don't know what the joke was.
Well, you can't tune a piano. You can piano a tuna. What? Okay. What about the pot of glue? Is that what you're supposed to say?
That's the one I always get stuck on.
Man, thank God we had time for that because I'd hate to not have that in the thing. Oh my God.
I don't think we're going to make it to episode 800 at this rate.
We're not gonna make it.
It's over.
Hey,
Stu's chortling like this
I'm
is like the
sorry.
funniest thing
He's
ever.
is.
That's quite funny.
Stu,
At least you did it
Stu's the
eventually.
guy who. Yes, at least I did it. Stu's the guy who tells the joke, and like it's funniest to him, even though he's heard it 50 times. He's the one having the most fun with it, which
Anyway,
is fine. I'm glad you're having fun. Go ahead.
I'm having fun.
End of the email.
How often do you get a takeaway, and what's your go-to takeaway food of choice?
I tend to get Subway once a week, once every 2 weeks, just because it's a little healthier. You know, veggie sub.
What's your favorite?
And it's right by it's on the way home. So,
What's your favorite takeaway?
Oh.
Tara?
Tara, what's your favorite takeaway?
Indian food.
Besides Jamaica Love. Oh, okay.
Indian food.
I want a full review of Jamaica Love. Tell her.
Duke wants a full review of Jamaica Love when you go to see it. Okay. And also, we talked about a video game that stars a young black woman, and there's not many games that star black.
Show her
people.
that review I gave you,
And
Chinny.
I've got to show you an article about the review of a game. So you've got to do some work for next week's show.
Yeah, do some work.
Okay. Pay
Yes,
Said
takeaway.
pay all right.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you for my
Also,
Uh,
there's a Chinese spot on my way home, so I get takeout from there sometimes too.
Yeah,
very
I'd say curry as well. I do like a pizza though, like a big fat dirty Domino's pizza.
Yeah.
The last time I got a
Domino,
takeaway was about 12 months ago.
Am I British now?
months. Jeez.
12
Yeah.
months.
Probably about
Wow.
12 months
Maybe
ago.
it was about 12 hours
My
ago, I
goodness.
think.
Yeah, if not
See,
longer.
that's because you're a
If not
chef, though.
longer.
You know how to make
No,
food.
nothing
I
to do
don't-
with
I
that.
don't make
Nothing to
food.
do
No,
with
I don't
that.
think it's that. It's health, isn't it?
It
Health.
is because it's full of
I
fucking
gotcha.
salt. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Especially
some of it doesn't
Chinese
have to
food.
be.
I used to
Yes,
love
Chinese
Chinese
is-
food, but
yes.
it's a nightmare because it's absolutely full
Yes.
of salt. So
Yes.
I
Yes,
don't
yes.
do takeaways. I make pizzas at home, and that's about as far as takeaways go.
Nerd.
I hear you.
I know.
Well,
So-
I mean, he has to be, or else he's
Well,
gonna
if
die.
it was back in the
Health
day,
nerd. Health
if
nerd.
Health
it was
nerd, yeah.
Chinese back in the day.
Yeah. Does curry have a lot of salt in it?
Everything has a lot of salt in it if it's a takeaway.
Well, I know, but I don't know. I feel like that. Like some Indian food doesn't have too much salt.
With
Doesn't
Indian food, you can sort of tweak it quite well. You know what I
You
mean?
can,
ring them
you
up and
can.
go. I don't
You'd have
like-
to be that person though, who's like, I need the low salt version of.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what-
You don't want to be.
Mackie D's isn't too bad because you can tell them just
Oh,
not to
you're
put
joking.
salt on stuff. I tell you, Mackie D's
Wow.
is all right.
But if you're
No,
gonna tell them to do it, you could do it at the Chinese place.
I suppose you can't because
to be fair, Mackie D's
I
I've-
would much rather tell a Chinese place to have the low salt version than go into Mackie D's and be like, "Can I have the low salt
no,
Big
but
Mac,
Mackey's
please?"
have done a good job of like making sure that look, even on the app, because I order on that, like making
Yeah,
sure
I know,
everybody
I
gets
know.
options and
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and they're usually pretty good. They don't do it.
But they need to pay
Uh,
their workers better.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, email number 2.
That's email number 2 done.
Oh, okay. I thought we
It
were
says-
okay. Now email number 3 of 9.
Okay, then bye
never
bye.
getting done with
That
this.
was email number 3 actually.
I was 3. Number 3.
Oh wow, we're going even
okay.
faster.
Next email. Next email off Jonathan Davies, and he says, Question. Hi all.
Hi, Jonathan Davis. I
Just a
love
quick-
your work in Garfield.
Just a quick email to express my thanks for the podcast, which I've been tuning into for almost a weekly basis. Not a
Yay.
yearly basis. That'd be like one show a year. Weekly
Yes, it
basis
would.
for 5 years now.
Yay! You rock.
You rock. I remember it was the beginning of lockdown when I found out about you guys, and you've continued to entertain me ever since. Quick
Yeah.
question. Ooh, I'm getting
Yeah,
married
go
in a
ahead,
couple
question.
of weeks' time. There's
Oh,
still time,
sweet.
Jonathan. There's still time.
Yay. No, fuck that. If you got the right person, and it's like hanging out with your best friend all the time.
It
So,
is. It's fun. It's been in the planning for 18 months,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I think we're just about there with everything.
Are you gonna have
The
a Mario
nerves-
cake?
Have you got a Mario? Okay, that'd be cool. The nerves haven't got me there yet, but I'm sure they will as the day gets nearer. Any tips from you wise chaps would be much appreciated.
Before we get to that, though, I don't know if I've ever shown y'all this. This is not a bit. The Duchess was the person who got the Homer Simpson and Marge Simpson
Aw.
wedding toppers
Oh, that's
for our
cute.
wedding cake.
Mm.
It's so cute. It's so sweet. It was so unexpected. I had no idea. I go in and I look at the cake and I'm like, oh, you got Homer and Marge.
I've got
So-
the best tip for you that this isn't from me. I read this the other day and I thought that is such a great idea.
What's that?
Right? Get yourself a big stack. You know those prompt cards you used to use for revision to revise?
Yeah, 4x6 cards.
4x6 cards. Get a big stack of those, right? And tell all your
Shove 'em
guests.
up your arse.
No, tell all your guests not to say goodbye to you when they leave.
What?
All right? Now listen, hear me out.
All right, go ahead. Keep
Go-
going. Keep going.
So tell all your guests but to leave a
When
message.
you leave, just leave. I don't want to hear your
No,
shit.
when you leave-
I
Shit
got
on
it.
the card.
Just leave, but leave your goodbyes on the card, like a personal message that you get to keep.
Okay,
afterwards.
okay, I got you.
Also, you get to have a dance and enjoy the night because most weddings, the bride and groom spend most of the time saying goodbye to people because, like, everybody comes up to you, everybody wants to say goodbye when they leave. Everyone leaves.
I'll be
at different
honest.
Times.
I'll be honest. By the time people started leaving our wedding reception, I was so wasted. I don't remember shit about anything. So they might have said goodbye. I was like, whatever. I'm dancing to Run DMC.
But that's
baby.
what I read a thing the other day, and like I thought that's such a good idea
That is a good idea.
because it saves you getting interrupted every 10 or 15 minutes throughout the night.
Also, disposable cameras because they're fun and
let's be
people like
honest.
them.
Let's be honest, old people go early, don't they? So the older people are going early.
Not my mum and dad. My mum and dad.
No,
stayed.
your mum and dad.
They
were
closed
paying.
the place down, motherfucker.
Oh bloody! They were like 2 in the morning, and I was sat.
No, yours-
in the,
to be
Turn the
fair,
music
Kitty,
up.
Yours were a good wedding because the people didn't leave early, did they?
yeah,
Everyone
well,
was just
yeah,
enjoying
stayed.
themselves.
Who's
Yeah.
going to shit weddings? They need to have
Yeah.
cards to say goodbye.
And the other thing
People should be
I would say
passed
is
out.
enjoy the day. Don't let
Yeah.
it become this big serious
go
thing.
quick.
Just
Yeah,
sort of
totally.
relax and enjoy the
I
day.
think my piece of
Yeah.
advice would be panic.
Yeah, panic. Yeah,
Get
panic.
freaked out about what your mother-in-law is going to wear.
You know what? Like the problem is, right? Like people bloody want to make it about them, right? Do you know what I mean? Everybody's
Of course.
just
It's your special day.
just do stuff that you get
Yeah.
permission
Yeah.
to go
Yes.
to say no.
It can be any kind of day you want it to be.
You just got no, don't do that, no, and don't worry
Yeah.
about. Look, I don't know how old you are, Jonathan Davis, but it does get easier as you get older to say no to stuff. But like, just just say, look, no, look, it's my day. To just no, and everybody will just
We're not doing that.
yeah, that's fine.
I mean, not everybody will immediately give in. There are going to be some people who might be terrible about it.
If
But
anybody's don't be a dick about it, but just do whatever you want to do. And
but
your
here's the other
partner
thing.
wants
Look,
to do.
if whoever your best man or your groomsmen or your bridesmaids or your maid of honor, that's their job is to deal with those annoying people, so you don't have to on your wedding day. So make sure you have proper. Y'all have best man over there.
yeah, best,
Okay, so have your best man
Yeah.
run interference. That's his job. or
Actually,
your
my best man
bridesmaid.
mainly got pissed. Like, that was more.
Yeah, he did. That's
But
true.
I didn't want to like.
That is true.
I didn't want to give him anything. There wasn't any. Look, what's to do? Look, what's to do?
Well, if your families are both cool, then yeah, he didn't have to
well,
do
there's
anything.
nothing to do. Just like
Although
or-
Tracy
or-
Jordan on 30 Rock said, "Be a best man. Why would I want to do that? Not lose a ring, make a speech."
So the all that matters for a wedding is that you feed
You have a
everyone.
good cake.
You feed them all.
'em all.
You've got beer or alcohol. You've got food. You've
Open
got,
bar, none of this
You-
cash bar shit.
You got music and
Yeah, good music.
You
Don't
don't-
put on stupid music.
Yeah,
don't-
I'll
you
be
don't-
honest.
A
I'm a bit.
variety of music too. I put on Copacabana. My mom got on the dance floor, man. What now?
But you just need all the people that you love in the room
Yes.
and music and alcohol and whatever, and everything's fine. You could be in a working man's club and you could have rented it for 50 quid, or you could be in a
Yep.
huge mansion in the country.
Be in
and
the
it's-
Taj Mahal.
You sort of get the same result anyway. I honestly, like I've said this to Tara, like I wish I hadn't spent as much on my wedding. It's a bit
Yeah,
late for you now,
see,
John, but like
We were lucky because I had a friend who was a professional photographer. She waived her fee. A friend who bakes cakes professionally. She gave us a free cake. Like everything was very, very
yeah,
cheap.
but like,
for
I
us. We
suppose
got
like
really
the
lucky.
venue was nice. I mean, you were there. Stu, it was a nice.
I was. It was a lovely
place.
venue.
But and we got married outside, so we got lucky with the weather and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
like it could have been in bloody Uppington's working men's club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
fine. But
It
like,
would have still been fun.
it would have been fun. Like you're gonna have fun. All right.
Yeah,
enjoy
I've
it.
got to say there was no snooker table.
There's no snooker time. I wasn't into
There was
snooker
no
back then.
snooker.
I wasn't into
No,
snooker.
there was no snooker table. Anyway, he continues. Keep up the good work. P.S. As a big music fan, I just wanted to recommend. By the way, he didn't ask me to DJ. I mean, what's going on?
I bet he would if he knew he
come
could
on.
save a few quid.
I
Yeah,
know. He
they-
would have saved
they-
a few
They would
quid,
have
man.
look, my venue where I got married, I had to use that DJ.
Yeah, I know. They're quite
It's-
strict, aren't they?
they just
Although he was pretty good.
He
He
must be a
wasn't
crappy
bad.
DJ
he
though.
was no,
He wasn't bad.
he was all right.
He played some good
Why does
music.
he have
did play some
to?
good
Why
music.
do you have to hire him then?
because
He
the
didn't
the
really-
venue.
gotta
like,
just
the
say-
way
Good
the
at your
venue was.
job. You can people
He
ask for
didn't.
you.
He didn't actually DJ. He just had a laptop, so he
I'd
didn't
like to
even
see.
have.
I'd like
he
to see
didn't even have
Jay Z be
any-
like, hey, if you rent that car, I'm gonna be in the car with
Yeah.
you rapping while you're
Yeah,
driving.
he just
That's
had
the
a
way it
laptop.
works. You have to hire me to be your personal
That's
MC.
how most of these wedding places work. It's like you've got to use our
Yeah.
guy, you got to use this guy. You gotta, yeah.
Fuck that shit. I got a fucking phone with shuffle on it.
Yeah, could do that myself. Anyway, he said, I just wanted to recommend a couple of albums that I've been getting into recently. Stu, one you might like from the mid-90s house group from Hull called Opic. They only ever released one album. However, they went on to perform in different groups for the Yorkshire-based Pork Recordings, who had some fantastic electro down-tempo acts like Fila Brasilia, and it's hard to find album now, but is around on Spotify for anyone interested. I will look it up. I like listening to
I know some of those words, but that was gibberish.
It's been keeping me company whilst I destroy the salvage ships in Ship Graveyard Simulator again.
I saw that. I'm curious.
For anyone who's into Power Wash Simulator type games, have you seen the latest thing coming out, by the way?
What?
Paint Spray Simulator. Have you seen this?
I know Power Wash Simulator is getting a sequel. I know there's a 2 coming.
Well, I don't know whether that's them, but I have
Is
seen this
MS
around.
Paint?
No, it's
like
like
painting a
Power
building or
Wash,
whatever, isn't it?
but you're painting
Okay.
over the graffiti and everything. So
Right.
you're sort of
That's
painting.
what a house flipper is.
Sick.
Yeah. So apparently
Why they
that's
got a
gonna
copy
be-
house flipper?
Going to be
Fuck
the
that.
next
Why not?
big.
Because we
thing.
already have a game like that.
So get it done.
Well, when you put it that way,
Gotta get it done.
is that Jermaine on
Yeah.
Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah, yeah.
What was the name of the book?
How to Get It
it done.
It's my response when I got nothing.
Oh, speaking of which, fucking Craig Robinson shows up in Shadows, man. I was like, oh my god, it's Craig Robinson, the head of the mosquito hunters.
Oh yeah, my mate.
Oh, so good.
You're talking about
My
my mate,
mate.
who I met in New York. My mate.
Did you really?
Yeah, I spoke about it.
Oh,
I was
man,
at a
don't
comedy. I
remember
was at
that.
the
That's
comedy.
Oh, that's right. That's
comedy
right.
cellar.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
came on
yeah.
for
Oh,
like
it's
2
so
hours,
cool.
and then I met him at the end.
Oh, beautiful.
By
Okay,
the
yeah,
way,
you may, right.
talking about groups who only ever did one album,
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Orbital.
Propeller Heads. What an album!
What about
that
them?
was. That they only ever
It
did
was a
one
great
album.
album.
They only did
Oh.
one though.
Do you have anything we could take with us as a souvenir of our trip
Dub
here?
No Bass with My Head Man. back
No,
in-
that was Underworld.
Was it? Was that not? thingy?
Yes.
Was it?
No.
Oh, it was Underworld, wasn't it? What were they
Propeller Heads
called?
was Decks and Drums and Rock and Roll.
Oh, that was
It was
it.
that same thing of smushed together title, but
Yeah.
take California.
Yeah, I got mixed up with my two.
And I'll
90s
tell you,
house
that
music
album,
bands.
now that you mention it, there's a song on that album that made me reconsider my attitude toward music. Because there's a song, History Repeating, and the woman says,
Brilliant.
some people only sing
The
if they
woman.
know
Did you
who's
really
singing.
just say
I
the
thought-
woman?
Yeah, the woman. She says,
Do you know who
some
that
people,
woman is?
The point of the song lyric is, what does it matter who's singing? It's your hips that are swinging. So she's saying it's not really all that important who it is that's singing, but since it's important to you, who
Do
is
you
it,
not know?
Eartha
Do you
Kitt?
genuinely not know who that is?
I remember seeing it and being like, I should know who that is, but I don't.
It's Shirley Bassey.
Sure, Shirley Bassett.
Do you
Yeah,
not know
related to
who that
Angela
is?
Bassett.
No,
It's
Shirley
okay,
Bassey.
Stu. Not everybody came out of the womb knowing who Shirley Bassey is. So you had to learn it at some point, and now I get to learn about her. Go
She
ahead.
sang nearly all the Bond themes. She sang
That's
like
crazy.
Diamonds
Okay.
That is
Forever.
crazy that you don't know who Shirley Bassey is.
That is
Okay.
crazy.
Y'all never read an Emile Zola novel.
Holy
I'm not mad.
cow.
Wow.
How
Shirley
can you not
Bassey is
know?
like a legend. Though, to be
Massive.
fair.
Okay,
By the way-
well, she's
by the
got a
way-
very good song, and that's a very good point she makes about who cares if you don't know who it is. It's your hips that are swinging. Because I used to go to parties and be like, I don't know who this is. I'm dancing to it. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, she makes a good point. If I like the song, I like the song. I don't have to know who it is.
By the way, I cooked for her as well. I've met her in real life.
All right.
Yeah, you've
Look
told-
at this.
yeah,
This
you've said that,
Brush with
yeah.
Celebrity
I met her in real life. She's a
podcast.
lovely
And
woman.
one time I met DMC from Run DMC, so we've all met famous people.
We've all met famous people. Anyway, Return of Verdanski's next email by Connor Searle.
Oh yeah.
All right. We asked for emails and we got emails.
Yeah.
He
Keep
says-
them coming. Keep them coming.
Even coming. This
Hello.
is great.
Hello,
hello.
veteran gamers.
Hello.
Hope you're all doing
Hello,
well.
then.
Hi, Connor.
I've been playing Call of Duty Warzone a bit this
Oh,
week,
yeah.
following the return of Verdansk.
Mhm.
And whilst it's definitely much better than all the maps that followed it over the past few years, I can't help but feel frustrated playing it.
Sounds like the dance can make.
Every single match seems to have so many people running around, sniper loadouts. I
Well,
am
yeah.
sick to death of
No
being
scoping.
hit by one of them all of the time.
Sounds like the
I
dance can
get-
make.
You know what? Here's the thing I'll say about that. Sorry to interrupt, but I have some advice that may be useful. Get good.
Okay, cool.
Just quit sucking at the game, and then you'll have more
Yeah,
fun.
You
you
like
suck
that.
less.
You like
You
that.
did suck less.
I'm
Uh,
turning into one of the sour children from Rocket League.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I get-
Help me.
I get that it's probably some sort of skill issue.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Or maybe
they're
my-
wall hacking.
Or maybe my plays are too out in the open, so these snipers are able to get at me. But it's really put me off playing the game.
Yeah.
It's just not fun to be one hit
I
killed
hear you.
from 300
Yes.
meters away
Yes.
every single match.
That's why I stopped playing Rust PvP. Like, just people have all the power, and they just, again, do you go down to the kindergarten and just stupid 4-year-olds?
Yes.
Like, it's
yeah,
got
I've
the
been through
power.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Jenny's like, why are you
It's
hating
the
on me,
only
dude?
fights I can win.
So, a question for you guys. Has there ever been a game that you've looked forward to playing and enjoyed it only for something in that third game to completely ruin the experience, whether it's similar to Mike and Blade or something like specific game mechanic, etc.?
Evolve.
Thanks, Connie. Yeah, no, I like that game. It was good.
Evolve. we played Evolve at
We did.
EGX, and then because they fuck you up because you play it with your mates and you got headsets and it's all cool, but obviously you don't play it like that in real life. And then you play it and you're like, this is fucking
Could if we
boring.
did play dates like we used to.
Boring as shit. And yeah, it was boring. The game was boring.
Do you know, I feel like, and I'm going to chuck this in there because
Chuck it in.
original Left 4 Dead, we fucking played the shit out of that game. We played loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of it.
It
And
was
then
the
Left
magic sauce.
And then Left 4 Dead 2 came along, and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be brilliant because it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be like different stuff as well, and it's going to be really fucking cool. And we hardly played it because the end bits were so fucking difficult. How many
Yeah,
times did
right.
we die
Yeah,
trying to do the
I agree,
final
that was
bit?
a problem. Yep. And
it's a good
that's
one.
the trick, man. Like, and
Yeah.
it came out too soon. If it had
Yeah,
come
it
out
did.
a year later, then it would have been a different experience.
You mean
And I
like
agree. Like,
a year after it came out? You mean? Yeah.
yeah, a year after it actually came out. Because it was like the next year after Left 4 Dead 1.
Left 4 Dead 1 came out 2008. Left 4 Dead 2 came out 2009.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
which is unheard of for Valve, by the way. Can we just say?
I
Well,
don't
they
know
had
what
a good-
I don't know what they were
they thought-
drinking in 2008 and 9.
Yeah, what the hell was happening in that studio?
Portal came out 2007 and Portal 2 came out 2011.
I'm
So-
surprised Gabe Newell were like, hey, we're ready to ship this, and he's like, need another 4 years at least.
Ah, it's hold it off 10 years.
Yeah, fucking hell, what is wrong with you lot?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
come here and work. What are you doing?
Just chill out on the beanbags.
So there you go, Connor. I can't think of any others. I don't know about
I'll
you.
give you the inverse of that, though. Like, everyone hates Battlefield 2042. I kind of like it. Like, it's not a bad game. You do get sniped by snipers a lot, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good shooter. So,
I remember Modern Warfare 3. Like, this is you're on the heels of Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2 being the absolute game changers they were. And Modern Warfare 3, people was kind of ready for it, and it was just a big stinker, really. Like, no one stuck with it, no one played it, and I felt like the kind of the crowd were moving on a little bit when that came out. Minecraft had
that's
come
true.
out by then, and just different games were taking over. So I feel like that was the start of like the downfall of traditional sort of Call of Duty multiplayer fun. Obviously now, well, but battle royales are sort of done now, aren't they? But
Yeah,
you
they
know they got a second win there. But yeah, that was the start of the downfall for me for Call of Duty.
So the
I
next
only
one
ever
is
play Team Deathmatch.
the next
One is.
actually a sound clip off Tainted Brain.
Oh, that's right. You sent me that, and I have it here, and
Uh-huh.
it's ready to go.
Here we go.
So here we go. Tainted Brain. It's like an early example of a speak pipe.
It is.
Hello, veteran gamers. It's Brian in Japan.
Yay, konnichiwa.
I'm driving to work at the moment, so the sound might be a bit odd.
You're going to have to fix that. We can't hear what you're saying because there's too much traffic.
Deleted it.
Apologies for that. Tough. I have to go to work. Anyway, I'm glad to hear Millie got back, Stu. I didn't
Yes, she
say
did.
anything during her visit, but we had a medium warning for a volcano. Mount
Oof.
Fuji was apparently grumbling. They thought it might happen, and if it
Yikes.
does, it'll cover most of Tokyo. The other thing is, while she was here, there was a mega warning for an earthquake in the Tokyo region. It's overdue, fortunately, and
Mega
it's
warning.
going to be big. It's going to be fucking horrible.
Oof.
So I'm glad she got home safely. We've been sorting out our earthquake kit, our go bag, and our supplies over the past week or two.
You know who else does a go bag and a kit to get ready for an emergency? The protagonist Hazel in South of Midnight.
So can you pause this clip? Because if you live in an area where you've got to pack an emergency kit because of a flood or hurricane warning, don't build your fucking house on stilts.
On stilts.
know,
Well, you
I
have
know.
to, because otherwise the river will flood.
Move
and it'll
it.
take your house
Because all
away.
those other houses on that street were not on fucking stilts.
No, they weren't. There was
That's
only
true,
that
they
one,
weren't.
which was a bit weird.
Yes, it was. It's fair. Okay, back to Tainted Brain's sound message.
Hopefully, if it does hit, we'll be okay. Fingers crossed.
Fingers
I'll be
crossed.
talking more about that, and I volunteered to do the Year of Shame podcast with the Midlife Gamers crew. If anybody doesn't know, it's basically you do it for a year. You don't buy any new games. You just work off games in your backlog. And you try to finish as many as you can. It's not going terribly well. I'll be asking advice in a moment about that. But anyway, I'm totally with Millie and Adam, isn't it? About sushi. It's okay. I don't really rate it.
200 meters, turn right.
Turn right.
Oh, he's going to a place where he has to turn right.
Turn right.
Oh man,
Oh.
imagine what kind of place that is.
I might have to like do that thing where I can trace where he is in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
exactly. You can
Japan.
tell the sound of the
Yeah,
buildings
sound.
going by.
Like Taken. I'm like, hey, you turn left.
Oh, like in Sneakers when he's. What did it sound like? And now back to Tainted Brains voicemail.
Should be talking again in a moment, but it's basically the soy sauce or the wasabi that makes the flavor. The rest of it is just, it's either okay or it's really, really unfresh. So I don't know.
Well, I agree. It could be unfresh, but I mean, good sushi has good flavors, man. Got some avocado in there. You got the crab meat. You got some shrimp. You got some yellowtail.
Yeah, Millie was just put off because of the raw chicken she got right at the beginning, so she didn't really eat anything else.
You shouldn't
after
eat
that.
raw chicken. Blah.
Well, she didn't. We got fried chicken and it was raw in the middle.
Why are you
What
going to
the-
fried chicken in Japan?
We
Well,
talked
because
about
it
this
was
last
fried
week.
chicken and noodles. So she didn't eat any sushi or anything.
It's an
because she was
age
just
thing.
put
I
off.
think she's young and she.
Yeah.
I know we want to go where we're familiar with it, but for God's sake, there's such an amazing culture and so many
She
delicious
had
foods
Domino's.
to eat around
She
the
had
world.
Domino's. Hoo-hoo.
Yeah, I know she had Domino's.
I would have done the same if I was her age. I would have done the same.
Well, I would not have when I was 18 or 21 or whatever fucking age she is. But that's
She's
just me. I'm a
23.
weirdo.
23.
Great. When I was
She's
23,
42.
I was eating all
57.
sorts of. When I went to France and Germany when I was 16, I had French and German food, not fucking Domino's pizza.
Well, aren't
Anyway.
you the educated type?
Yeah,
I
carry
am
on,
the-
carry on.
I don't know if it has to do with educate. Anyway,
I'm not really a big fan.
Turn right.
Turn right,
People
man.
I'm
talking
not
at
gonna rant
once.
about the food over here because what they steam is meat. I don't know. And what they do to vegetables is fucking horrific. Anyway, I was going to ask
they
you to.
not like mushy peas back in the UK.
Oh, I love a
mean,
bit of mushy peas.
Let's be honest. I don't know if
What are they doing to the vegetables? Like
I know,
that
right?
are
When
close-
I've seen Japanese
Are
food,
they
it's like
torturing them.
I've seen like beautiful flowers made of carrots and shit, but maybe that's not standard.
It's horrific.
Japanese
They
vegetable
hate it.
fare. The tempura. Oh God, the tempura.
Questions. As I said, I'm doing the Your Shame podcast. I wanted to know how I should remain focused on doing games.
First of all, don't game while you're driving your car. That's
Yeah,
an
that's-
important
that
thing.
would
You
be
need to
bad.
turn right.
First of all, you should turn right.
I hope that's your right turn
Yeah, yeah.
signal that you got on there. It sounded like a left turn signal.
Yeah. I suppose it's like it's hot. I remember we did it, didn't we? Did we do it, Stu? I
Yeah.
did it with Bongo.
Well, they
and
called it
everything.
Dirty 30,
The
didn't we?
Dirty
used to call
30.
it?
You had to list 30 games in your backlog and get rid of them.
Jesus, 30 games.
Yeah, and that's the year I did like The Witcher 3 and all that.
Yeah, you
sorts
did a
stuff.
load of
I
stuff.
Oh, you did
did-
Skyrim, I think,
Skyrim
too,
was on
didn't you?
there. Yeah, it was 2018, I think. So
Damn,
Yeah.
I'd be picking games that would take an hour at the most. You pick Skyrim and The Witcher 3.
that's why I didn't play them in the
50
first
million
place, is because they're
Yeah,
huge. But,
okay, fair enough.
yeah, I think you've got to make a list and
Focus.
you got to make a list,
Check it
order the
twice.
list so you've got an order, so you've got a plan. Don't go
Yeah.
into it going and then
And
eventually
think about what's going to be going on in your life at the same time, so you don't have.
No,
you know,
don't
games
do
are
that.
gonna
Don't
be
worry about
tense
your
when
life,
things are
right? That's
stressful.
what like a smart person would do. Right. So then you've got your list, you've got your order, and then you might be like, okay, I'll play this, and then don't worry to change the order a few games in, but just try and make a plan. I think a plan would
Yeah.
do you
And
good.
mix long and short games up so that you're
mix
not
longer.
doing.
Like, a short game is like a
Yes.
nice palate cleanser. For a
Yeah,
long
yeah,
game,
between
you
your
know?
long ones.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do that. I'm doing the
There you go.
opposite
All
this
right,
year, by the
continuing-
way, Brian, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
am doing the opposite of
Playing nothing.
backlog. No, I'm only playing fucking new games.
Just
this
one
year.
game.
No, new games. That's it.
New game.
I'm only
Oh,
playing
okay.
games that come out in 2025. That's
So
it.
what's the opposite of a pile of shame? A ditch of ecstasy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
A hole of
Chinny's in the ditch of
a
ecstasy.
hole of jizz.
Back to Tainted Brains voicemail.
Made a list at the start of the
Continue
year.
for 800 meters.
Oh God, shut up, Google.
If only there's some way to turn that off. Maybe
I never
pull
have the
over.
volume
Maybe
on.
pull over for three minutes while you record us a
When it-
little sound clip.
What I like there is like I imagine like that's what his wife sounded like then or something. Brian, why do you shout at me?
I just said for you to turn right.
I just wanted to give you directions.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Yeah. All right. We got a minute and a half left on this. We
Go
can
on.
make it.
We got to crack on.
I made a list at the start of the year of games I wanted to get through, but I find I keep picking other games.
Stop.
It feels like I made a list and now I'm trying to do everything to avoid it. Any tip how I should get through my list of games that I want? I have some horrifically long games on there. I'm trying to do the Mass Effect Trio, The Witcher, Death Stranding, and the other one, Cyberpunk. They're the long games I've got
In
listed.
400 meters, turn left.
Turn left.
Hey, if you like having a robot tell you where to go in order to reach a destination, you're gonna love Death Stranding because that's kind of the whole game.
Yeah, I think what he's doing there is he's procrastinating, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, when you start a task, it actually doesn't. You feel fine. It's the thought of starting the task, which is the top.
You just got to do it, man.
So you just
Commit.
gotta
Well,
fucking
and
get
that's
on with
because
it.
you're weighing the things you could be doing. I don't not grade papers just because I don't love grading papers all the time. It's my weekend. I deserve to be playing games and having fun. And if I'm supposed to play this video game that I have to play, I really would rather play this other game because I know I'm gonna like it.
That's why Duke is so hard to tell him to play a game because he's like, I want to
Yeah,
play
exactly.
the games that I want to play.
I want to play more Rocket League.
Yep.
Is that the end of the clip?
No, there's more.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Okay,
for
we
God's
can't
sake.
talk
Come on.
until he's finished.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Stop
that's how you
pausing
stay
it, Mom.
focused. Stop pausing it, Eric.
Famous on your show. What else? So, any tips on how I should remain focused on my list? The other thing, have you got any games on your backlog that you should really go and play rather than
At the light,
going for
turn
something
left.
new and shiny? Stu, what
Ah.
games do you think are on your backlog you feel ashamed of, but you should really go and do? Not including any games that came out this year. That's about it. As I said, I'm doing the Year of Shame podcast. So you can catch me stumbling over my words on that as well with my crappy voice. I can't
No, your
stand
voice is
hearing
lovely.
my own voice. I don't know how you guys ever got used to
Oh,
it.
it's a beautiful
Thank you.
voice.
Lovely
See you.
voice.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Now there's still another
Just
10
that
seconds.
for your Year of Shame. Not your year. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
He's got bloopers on his voicemail.
I'm not
I
trying
like
to
it.
plug the podcast I'm on, the Year of Shame podcast. I don't know if it's possible for me to say Year of Shame any more times than that. Anyway,
Yeah, I think we know. I think we
fucking
know
stuck
what
in
he's on.
traffic. Should I just keep ranting and stuff for the next?
Yes, keep
7
ranting.
minutes?
I want this for
No, I'll
5
save you.
minutes.
See you. Bye.
Yay, thank you, Tainted Brain.
Wow.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've got loads of stuff, as we know.
Yeah.
You know, I've got
Me too.
RoboCop, which I started and I really like, but I haven't got back to it
Stu,
yet.
you are the worst for this.
Alien Isolation.
No,
I'm
I think I'm
nearly
the
there.
worst.
Well, I
I
thought
think
it
I'm
was.
the worst.
Do you know what happened though with Alien Isolation?
You got scared?
No, I didn't realise how
I'm
long
scared
it
of
was.
the little alien.
No, I thought, it'd be about 10
Gonna eat
or
my
12
face.
hours.
Plant an
you know,
egg in my
And
esophagus.
I found out it's 20 hours. I'm like, I'm only halfway through, and I'm like, fuck
Oh,
it.
yeah,
no.
that is a frustrating experience when you think
I
you're
was
done
like-
and you're not.
Yeah, I thought it was nearly done, and I'm nowhere nearly done.
So guess when the last time I played Spider-Man Miles Morales was?
Spiderman. That's quite short as well. It's only about 6 hours long.
2 years ago.
December of 2023.
Well,
Jeez.
I'm close.
You're close.
You are close, yeah.
You're
So
close.
that's pathetic. And I can't uninstall it. Like, I got to go back and play it.
But you won't be able to remember how. You'll get in it and you'll be like,
No,
what the
I
fuck
will
am doing?
not. I haven't touched Starfield since September of 2024.
Yeah, but that game's shit, so no one
Yeah,
cares.
true.
I like it.
You know you don't. You
I've-
don't like
I've
it enough
got-
to
I've
play
got
it.
a-
Yeah, I do.
I've
No,
got
you
a-
don't. You've not played it for how long?
Well, then you don't like Alien Isolation.
Yeah, I played it about 2 weeks ago.
I've got
saying,
better.
though.
I've gotten better at like just dumping games. So
Yeah, I
Starfield,
have.
I started, and I just retired it. I was like, nah.
I will go back to Starfield. I will go back to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I haven't touched since December of last year.
I haven't talked about it this week, but I even went back to Mario Sunshine. Mario Sunshine is probably one of them. But yeah, I think I'm the best at this. I don't like start games and then like if I feel like I want to finish it, I will get through it. If I feel like
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
if I'm like, no, this is not my game, I'll get out early.
Yeah.
But there's loads of games that I want to play that I haven't played, like Hogwarts Legacy, to name one.
Yeah, that's such a good game.
Yeah, I have a big wish list
Pikmin
on Steam,
4.
so I'm that same way. Yeah.
But I'm pretty
But I think
good
the
at
wish list of
getting
Steam.
through.
Sorry, I think the wish list of Steam has changed my relationship to games. Like, these are games I kind of generally want to play, but I buy them based on like which one is most interesting and then cheapest. So like there aren't many AAA games that I'm done. I haven't played Cyberpunk, which is ridiculous. I should play Cyberpunk.
Now, that is a good game.
Yes, Ghost of Tsushima is on my list. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
is
there's
on
another
my
one I
list.
started and didn't finish.
Oh,
Anyway, enough of all that. Let's do the next email,
Jesus
which is off
Christ.
James Hope.
All right, we're halfway through the emails. Yes.
There we are. He says,
Okay.
"Evening all.
Evening.
There are many games that sound really good coming out at the moment, and it's really hard to squeeze them all in. Yeah, we've just been discussing
Yes.
that very thing.
We have been. Let's talk about it some more.
We talked about Bloomin' Rage on our podcast last week, but both felt it lacked a bit of action and was a bit slower than we'd normally play. But Tape 2 of that is out this week, so I'm suitably invested in the characters and 90s vibe to want to know how it plays out. Which is from the Life is Strange developers. I've looked at this. I'm tempted, but I can't commit, man. I've got too much other stuff to play. We were torn between Blueprints and South of Midnight for our play-along game this month, but went for Blueprints in the end, as it sounded really different. Looking forward to hearing how you all got on with South of Midnight, as I'm sure we'll end up playing that one this month too.
And Blueprints. We'll listen to how you like Blueprints when we play it.
As it's only meant to take about 15 hours to complete. Anything over 30 hours these days, I really struggle to start it. It sounds like such a commitment between everything else and life. Then I've been working my way through Silent Hill 2, which I think is pretty awesome. It's exhausting mentally and physically to play at times because there's so little rest time or story to play through, like there was in The Last of Us, but still loving it and should be finishing it this evening. As far as a constantly unsettling environments go, Silent Hill 2 pretty much nails it. Yeah, it does. Such a good game. Now, Drug Dealer Simulator is coming to Game Pass this month. I've also got to give that a go, as Duke made it sound really good on last week's show, so thanks for that.
Yes, you're welcome.
And then there's Atomfall, which you also made sound amazing. Yeah, it is good. It's good. We've been playing some good stuff lately. I remember back in the late 80s and early 90s when a decent game would come out every few months, so you had time to look forward to the new game, save up for it, and then play it to death. Now there's something tempting around every corner, especially having both Game Pass and PS Plus. So it's good to hear other people's opinions on new stuff to help pick what to try next. Have a great show.
No, go ahead. Finish the email.
Have a great show, and hopefully you'll just talk shit about shit games today, so I'm not tempted by anything else, as I really need to play Blueprints and finish Silent Hill 2.
Vowed Core Keeper.
Aches and Games.
Who was that from? Who's that from? So who's that from?
That's from James from the Aches and Games podcast.
Oh, I've been listening to that.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Yeah.
I listened to it. I can't see that email. I don't know why I can't see that email.
Because this one's come to the old email address.
I've got that. I've got access to that.
I don't know. I can only tell you where it came.
I don't know, but I listened to that show.
Aches and Games.
They do, yeah, Aches and Games. Good name for a podcast. Like the name. Good. Yeah. So
I forgot to mention I got the horse trophy from Block Blast this month. So what now?
Yeah. Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Next, what email is off Jason Gallagher, and he's asked.
Please tell me it's not just dots. Does it have words in it
No,
now?
it's actually got words. He's given us a quiz, but it's a fucking big old list, and I think we should do this for next week, each other personally, and then we read out what we think. Because it's a big old list. He's put, hi ho. I want to thank you guys so much for all the love lately. True sweethearts. I do have a quiz for you today, but first things first. Chinny, how is Mario doing? He's probably kicking back with a cigarette by now.
I
don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means, but sure, yeah.
Sure. Duke, have you ever stepped in?
Stop being Italian maintenance twins and get in here.
Duke, have you ever stepped in elephant poo? Be careful. It's a zoo out there.
No.
Stu, have you learned to read? ... I haven't learned to read dots. No, it's true. Don't feel bad. I can't read it either. I have no clue. Quiz. Of the following, off the top of my head, upcoming video games, please rank these in the correct order. Number 1 being the highest rank, Please do this as a threesome rather than individually. And we ain't got time for this.
I have this game, Jason Gullahar, that we got like 2/3 of the way through, and then we never finished it. So we're doing this before we do your game. I made a game. We've been trying to do this, so we'll do it soon, but not right now.
He said,
but it does sound like it could be fun.
He said, that's enough for now. We'll try it next week. We'll give it a go.
Okay.
That's enough for now. Correct order. If you fail, well, then that's pretty sad. And I know we have Peppa Pig already, Mike. Bluey as well, but how about To a T? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
No idea.
From Annapurna for the babies gaming out there.
I can't help you. I can't help you.
Is it a video game called To a T?
It must be. I'm out. P.S. The correct order didn't matter as long as you put Mafia first. So we don't even need to do the quiz now.
Annapurna does good games.
Grand Theft email you twats. Tell Pilch I can't understand one word of his shit speak pipes, but I'm sure miss that burrito wanker. That isn't Pilch Reed, by the way. Brian P. Bryanson is not Pilch Reed. I know actually do know who that is, but
so do I.
But it isn't Pilch Reed.
To a T is an episodic 3D adventure game developed by Kaita Takahashi and the Uvula team with a strong focus on character, interaction, story, and exploration.
We are on the final email, but we have got speak pipes still to do. I'm never getting to bed tonight. I'm never
getting to bed.
Never getting to bed.
Stay up all night.
Okay, here we go. And it's from friend of the show, Almar, and he says, Happy Switch 2 Day!
Yay!
Hello, veterans. I trust you are all well. Why wouldn't you be? I listened with much mirth and merriment to Steam Deck fanboy Stu on last week's show, looking for any reason to poo-poo the Switch 2. Those who own and love the Switch 1 will buy the Switch 2. If you are happy with your aging Steam Deck with lower horsepower and needing your shoulder put back in place whenever you pick the thing up, then good for you. No, what I like is the fact I can buy cheap games on it. I can buy loads of cheap games, not fucking paying 79 quid.
Hard to know when you're talking and when you're reading the email. So
that's me talking.
Yeah, reading.
Oh yes, it's But on a serious note, it ticked pretty much all of the 2 boxes I had for what I wanted on Switch 2. No Hall effect analog sticks. Hope they fixed that drift issue. Who knows? They probably haven't. I was also met about the non-OLED screen from the previews and hands-on. It looks like this is the next generation of micro LED panels, not the ones used in the Switch from 8 years ago. HDR, good. Besides, they need to keep OLED for the mid-gen bump. This is Nintendo after all. Yeah, they need to find out how to screw more money out of people. It can do 4K, albeit not true 4K, but upscaled. It has a fan in the dock to keep things cool. After wishing for ages, I finally get F-Zero GX. I have my pre-order in, and my good friend Chris has pre-ordered the GameCube controller for me, as I didn't get the email from Nintendo. What the fuck? I have bought Super Mario World at least 6 times across all of your systems, or their systems, sorry, and F-Zero as well. Being a day one adopter counts for nothing, I suppose. Tears of the Kingdom at 120 FPS, yes, please. I bought this game and was going to play whenever Mr. Ching got around to it. It was a good event. All the best to you, Stu, Mike, and Duke. Peace and love, Almar Parvez, fanboy of the show.
Yeah, he told me, what, Nintendo, you got a turd with Mario on it? Here's my money.
I think I did quite well to read that so fast.
Yes, you did. Well done.
So thank you, Almar.
We appreciate you.
Well, yeah, I just for the record, Almar, I didn't like the title of last week's.
I thought last week's title show was brilliant.
Okay, well, you named it last week, Stu, and then Chinny's going to name it this week, and I'll name it the week after. What's it going to be this week, Stu?
No, just write it in the notes. Write it in the notes. We ain't got time.
I've already put a name for this week, but yeah. So I will get the OLED bump. That's what I've decided that I'm going to do with the Switch 2. It was when they do an OLED sexy top version, and I'll get it then.
Anyway, speak pipe. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Speak pipe.
Thanks, Almar.
Okay.
Thanks, Almar.
Thank you, Almar. We appreciate your email.
We do.
Here's the speak pipe theme.
Speak pipe. Speak pipe. It's the way to leave a message for us.
SpeakPipe 751 comes from Saint Diesel, and it's called Cold War Initiative.
Hey, veteran gamers, Saint Diesel back again. I've been hit by a bit of a nasty spring cold this week.
Oh, no.
First few days was, tiredness, really. And I was getting back home, I was just crashing out on top of my bed for 2 or 3 hours. And the last few days, it's been a sore throat, chesty cough, painful when I cough, so I'm trying not to do that. And today and last night, it's been a lot of wiping of the nose. Hopefully, it's on its way out, maybe in the next 2 or 3 days. But it got me thinking about minor annoyances like this. What's your go-to when you have something like that? Do you soldier on, try to ignore it? Do you go to your doctors? Do you go online? Do you ask people what would be the best thing to do? Go to your chemists, maybe? Ask them the best thing? And if you have that sort of thing, do you stay home, or do you risk going to work? Maybe you don't have a choice. Or do you lean on the old marital vows, in sickness and the health, for better or for worse? Will your wife be sympathetic when you have something like that? I don't know, but I'll just leave it at that. Hopefully, by the time I send my next speak pipe, my physical well-being will be something a lot better than it is today. But that's all for this week.
I'm sorry, St. Diesel. And you don't have to send a speak pipe every week. If you're sick, take the week off. We appreciate it, but you do get to take time
the
off.
Views of Duke
I'm very
do
fortunate.
not reflect the views of the veteran game.
I'm very fortunate that our school district has a pretty good. I mean, I have a letter from a doctor saying like Duke has insomnia. It's weird that he would write Duke instead of my actual name, but he wrote Duke.
Yeah, that is weird.
He says Duke has insomnia.
Then he drew
and
like a battle
sometimes-
horse on it as well. I don't know why.
He drew the Skyrim logo. He said, so I have a letter on file saying I have this problem, and sometimes it means that I can't, make it in and stuff. So, I'd say maybe once a month or once every 2 months I have to call in sick for that reason. The thing I hate about colds is getting that scratch in the back of your throat. It often comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, fuck, I'm gonna be sick for a week. I hate it because I can tell as soon as it shows up, I'm just like, ah. And then it starts happening. You have the sore throat. You can't sleep as well, and just wiping, blowing the nose and coughing, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah. I was a little bit ill this week, but only a tad. But my mum and dad got it quite bad. But yeah, for me, it's right. Drugs, everything,
Yeah.
drugs, lemon, honey, drugs, rest, all this. But I just anything that will work, I will do.
You know what works? My mom taught me this, and I never thought I'd do it. She did it when she was sick, and I was like, "That's stupid. I'm not doing that." And I do it now, and
Lying
it helps.
on a bed of nails.
If you, yeah, exactly. If you're congested, boil some water and put it in a bowl that can withstand it, obviously, and then put a towel over your head and breathe in the steam. That will really help.
And if you put like some smelly
menthol crystals you want in there,
or Albasol is what I used to use as a kid and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, I'll do Vicks Vapor Rub on my
Vicks,
chest.
Yeah, but if you put Vicks in the boiling water, that will work.
Oh God, your eyes will fall out.
Honestly, put some menthol crystals in. It's like you breathe it in. It's unbelievable.
Just a word of warning, right? A family, one of Tara's cousins did that. She does this a lot, apparently. Like she puts a bowl and she puts a towel, and it's good for the skin and stuff.
Okay.
And she really, really, really badly burnt herself because
you gotta be careful.
She spilled it.
You gotta be careful.
She was doing it
Oh
whilst
God,
in bed.
yes.
Of course you do. Yeah,
Put
that's
it on
exactly
a table.
what you do.
I know. So be careful when you
Jesus
do anything.
Christ.
Like
So sorry to hear that.
And
That's so
she's
sad.
okay now. She's fine. But like, Jesus Christ,
I can't take any. I can't take any drugs apart from the drugs I'm taking. Yeah, because they all unfortunately
interact with each other. Yeah.
Interact with the stuff I'm taking, so I can't take any.
Hello,
sort of
paracetamol.
flu remedies. Any sort
Shall we
of.
give this guy a cardiac arrest?
I can't take ibuprofen. There's so many things I can't take.
There's a lot of you can't take ibuprofen if you
Can't drink grapefruit juice. Can't have Seville oranges.
Well, that's no big loss.
No. So there's a lot of stuff I can't have. It's
Cranberry?
unbelievable.
You can't have cranberry, can you?
Can't have cranberry.
Yeah.
There's lots of things I can't have.
My dad can't
What
have
about
cranberry. And stuff like that,
What about
So
mango?
yeah,
You can
honestly.
have mango.
Anyway, thank you, Derek. And
Yeah,
no, I
thanks,
very rarely
Saint
take
Diesel.
any time off work. Unless it's
Depends
a
what's
half
on.
thing. The half thing. But other than that.
I'll tell you this. A, I'm very lucky the Duchess is very supportive and sympathetic if I'm sick.
Oh yeah, Tara
and
is
B, and B, I love the fact that we have normalized, at least in the U.S. and some parts of the U.S., people wearing masks when they're sick. As soon as someone's like, I'm like, here's a mask if you need it. Like, you should just instantly put that shit on if you're
Yeah, yeah.
sick, man. Don't be spreading you can now not spread your germs. It used to be that you know, go home if you're sick. Now it's like, if you have to be here, you can put on a mask, buddy.
If I have to go into work, I will, and I'll wear a mask. And
that's
and
pretty good.
we advise anyone who if you got to come in and you're not very well, wear a mask. But sometimes like I can sort of move things around and be like, right,
Well,
I'm just gonna
you see,
lie in.
it's like Kay's mum. We went around the other week and she had flu or a cold or whatever.
Left her outside, just tired.
And she old person, and she's like, it's only a cold. I'm like, I don't even want that.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Why do I want it? Why would I want it? I don't want anything.
You're young. You can handle it.
Come and give me a hug. No, I don't want to give you a hug.
No, give
Not
yourself
happening.
a hug.
Yeah, but
Not
I'm not
happening.
ill anymore. Yeah, I know. I just don't want to hug you. That's just
Not happening.
You smell weird.
Right.
All right, are we ready for shout outs?
We bloody are.
It's time for a shout out.
I've got to shout out.
I'll
I've
go
got to
first.
shout out. No, I've got
Do you
one.
know,
Shinny's got a shout out.
Go on.
I've got one. Right. I've got to play a clip though. I've got to play a clip.
Oh shit! You
Oh
send it to
God,
me?
here we go.
The BAFTA goes to.
Karen Dunbar.
So it's a BAFTA win. She's won a BAFTA.
Nice.
I am completely overwhelmed.
Oh, so that was Karen Dunbar. She won a BAFTA. She says, "Oh,
Actor, I'm a gynecologist.
she's a gynecologist." She's not. She's actually an actor in real life. She won the BAFTA for Still Wakes the Deep. Her
Nice.
part in
Oh,
Still
wow,
Wakes the Deep.
alright.
So
Nice.
well done to her. And she's apparently been an actor for years, and she's never won anything. She's never won anything in
Aw,
the
that's
Scottish
so cool.
BAFTAs. And she was so humbled and surprised,
Yay.
and she couldn't believe it that the gaming community had got together and said she is one of the best voice actors in video games this
It
year.
was
Oh, that's
brilliant.
so
though.
awesome.
The game was amazing.
Yeah, so.
But thank goodness you're here.
Not her
But-
performance, the game.
Yeah, the game and her. All the voice acting was great.
No fooling. I'm from North Kiltown.
But thank goodness you're here. Won best game, didn't it?
Which I disagree with.
It's still
I
a great
disagree
game.
with. Like it's a funny game, best game. Like
Game of the year.
Okay,
Come on.
it's all right. Look,
It did.
Look, it's very British. I get it. It's funny. Best game. Best.
Oh, thank God you've answered.
Stu, best. Come on.
I think I would have chosen Still Wakes the Deep over that.
Yeah, I didn't particularly like Still Wakes the Deep that much, but like I definitely would have.
You
put
can
that
see
above.
that being best game.
Yeah, and I finished.
Thank God
thank,
you've answered.
thank goodness you're here. But
Yeah.
best game, like best,
Well,
funniest.
Don't say
not
what it is.
best. Yeah.
Oh, thank God you've answered.
But well done to her, Karen Dunbar.
well done to
Yes.
her.
Well done,
I'm going to do a juxtaposition here because
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to say thank you to everybody who sent us emails and speak pipes this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
But by God, that was a lot to get.
No,
That was a
we
lot
should
to
get
through.
more.
Came-
If you
more,
listen
you
to
should have
the
twice
show,
as many next week.
more, and then
The
that-
whole
Yeah,
show will just
more.
be emails.
You know why?
Longer emails too.
You know
Those were
why?
very short. We need
Right.
longer emails.
The reason why you should send more emails is that we don't have to do a story time at the start, right?
No,
And
we
then
have no
can
time for that. And
crack on.
we've still overrun by about
I'm
half
fine
an
with
hour.
just having that not
We
be a
can
part of the show.
crack
We can
on.
just jump right in next week
You know
and
what I mean?
every week if you want.
Bam.
I'm fine with it. I mean, unless I got something urgent I need to talk about. But...
Well, that's
All
it.
right.
So thank you.
So my shout out is to the people on Spotify's support forums who keep putting the same request that I put in. So every time someone puts a thread up that says the problem is that you can't make your own cover images for folders. If you make a playlist on Spotify, it automatically combines the four album covers.
Yeah.
You can make your own cover for a playlist if you want. You can't do that for folders. So once upon a time, I put up a thread that was like, hey, we should have fucking folders. We should be able to edit the images on a folder. And now every time somebody else puts that suggestion up, they merge it with my thread and I get an email about it. So like once a week, there's somebody else coming along saying, yeah, we have a folder. And they're like, it's already been suggested and it's been years and it's never happened. So don't hold your breath, but you're right. It should happen. So I just find it funny that they keep merging it.
Nice. Shout out to
Get it done,
Spotify.
Spotify. Shout out to Spotify. Make it happen, fuckers.
Is
All
that a
right.
show?
Anybody else?
No, that's it.
Thank you. Good night. Much love.
Thank you, good night, much love.
All right, show's over. No refunds. You heard the robot. Get out.
Won't you?
Movies aren't stupid. They fill us with romance and hatred and revenge fantasy.
Why don't you just let gonna do something less boring instead. Sitting at home, watch TV, burning up slow books of me. Why don't you?
Dude, what's with all the sound bites?
I'll just stick with the veteran gamers.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm going, man. I've got to go to bed. Jesus, that's
I
gonna
hope
be
you
up
have a
in
good night. I hope you have a nice
6.5
sleep.
hours.
Bye.
Yeah. Have a good evening.
I will do. Thank you, guys. See you next week.